the reason why Kishane can be a favorite, if you want to call him one, is because he's supposed to be able to blow the field away. But I said supposed to, because at the end of the day, people be talking about Kishane's races as if they happened already when they haven't. Like 975 happened, but y'all be talking like 965 already happened,
And
and it didn't happen. Let's just use last year as an example. 977. Oh, he got more in the tank. Well, guess what? That's it. That was the end. That's what we saw.
that
That
was
was the
it.
clip. Like that was the edge. That was the edge of what was there.
Let's not deny Sha'Carri's talent. Like she's clearly one of the most talented athletes in history, literally in history. But based on where we're at now and everything you said, not sure if she's ready to get the gold. But then I wouldn't count her out for a podium spot. And in this case, I got to be honest, the podium spots are bronze right now. Like I'm looking at Julian, I'm looking at Julian and Melissa, and then everyone else is like behind them. So I
So
think for
eight, because you
Sha'Carri,
mean the one podium spot.
well, yes, the one podium spot. And again, anything can
The
happen.
world
But
championships are coming a whole lot sooner than anybody thought. And with that in mind, the men's short sprints. Hey, it comes down to the 100, and we now know that Kenny Bednarek is America's new champion. If that is true, and we saw what Kishane Thompson has already done, we've seen what Oblique Seville has already done. We even saw what Brian Lavelle did, even though it didn't necessarily count. Not because the time doesn't count, because he won't be running that world in that event, at least not up until now. So we've got Kenny and Noah on one end, and the men from Jamaica on the other. They're the other players, and trust me, we'll get to them in a moment. But it's starting to look like Jamaica versus USA once again. So, where is this train taking us? Because it does look like at some point there's going to be a collision.
yes, it's coming head to head, and I think it's USA versus Jamaica. I think for me, the conversation starts with Noah versus Kashane. And yes, like you said, Kenny B, USA champion. He ran 979. Get to that in a second. Even Oblique Seville, he beat out Noah Lyles at the London Diamond League. But considering what Noah Lyles did last year to win the gold medal at the Olympic Games, and he's the defending world champion from 2023, I think he's a guy that everyone is trying to chase right now. But then you also have Kashane, who got the silver medal last year at the Olympic Games. He had the world lead last year, and he has the world lead right now, 975, a time we literally have not seen since Usain Bolt was running. Like no one currently active has been able to run that fast. So that puts him in a different level of conversation as well. So I think those two are in the driver's seat as like, all right, everyone is currently chasing them. And we've seen, Noah, he had some injuries earlier this year. He's run 200 races, one at the London Diamond League, ran 10 flat. USA's, he ran the first round, dropped out because he had the wild card. He ran 10:05. But Kishane,
And
he's
he
been
won that. He
very,
won that heat for the record.
he did win that heat. Exactly. So he's there. Kishane, he has run 975. He's beat out all the Jamaicans. He's even beat out a good amount of Americans this year, including, some who are going to the world championships. So I think those two are the guys who are in a collision course of like, can either of them, Noah, can he maintain his title in the 100? Or can Kashane step it up and get the gold medal that everyone says he is supposed to have? And then I feel like everyone else kind of comes into the conversation after that. And just to be clear, the other guys are in the conversation. Like other guys can win gold. But in my mind, I feel like those two are the guys that everyone is chasing.
Yeah. Well, let's say it this way: if Kishane is going to lose, then it's going to be to Noah. That's how I'm going to say it.
Mm,
I don't think anybody else is capable of taking him out like that.
mm.
So let's say if I could be wrong, but I doubt it.
Anything can
So,
happen.
so if that's the case, then let's start the conversation there, Kashane versus Noah, because I see it as a tale of two different race plans. And the reason why Kashane can be a favorite, if you want to call him one, is because he's supposed to be able to blow the field away. But I said supposed to, because at the end of the day, people be talking about Kashane's races as if they happened already when they haven't. Like 975 happened, but y'all be talking like 965 already happened,
And
and it didn't happen. You see what I'm saying? Like, so maybe he will run 969, 970, 971, legal. Like this might happen, but then again, it might not. Like maybe let's just use last year as an example. 977. Oh, he got more in the tank. Well, guess what? That's it. That was the end. That's what we saw.
That
That
was
was the
it.
clip. Like that was the edge. That was the edge of what was there. So at this point, all I know is 975 is the edge. I'm gonna assume I'm gonna use last year's mathematical calculator in order for a moment. This is Coach Rob's calculator, the one up here. At 975, I'm gonna reduce that thing to 977. That's the final
Mm.
quality race we're gonna get. All other things assumed, generic win factors and so on. I'm assuming 977 is what you're gonna see. Now,
Mm.
I could get new data. However, and a lot of that new data will come based on what these next races are going to look like.
Yeah.
Because he's going to run, is it
A couple diamond leagues.
Silesia,
Silesia in Poland,
and
and then also
then
Lausanne.
Lausanne.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if that's the case, then maybe that'll change my mind. And it's not so much about the clock. I want to see how the field looks next to him.
Mm.
Because if I still watching them gallop on him in the back part, because that's what Prefontaine was. They was coming. They were coming. When you win a race by 600th of a second and you see where Jarnell was to where he finished,
Yeah.
I mean, who are you more scared? Who are you more afraid of? Jarnell Hughes or Noah Lyles?
Well, obviously Noah. I mean,
In a world final, who are you more afraid of?
obviously Noah by far.
And
Like,
if Jarnell Hughes can do that, I think Noah can get that extra 600s.
hmm. So that's the thing I look at because essentially Kishane knows what happened to him last year, where Noah Lyles was out of it from the blocks. Like when I say out of it, like he was not in contention from the blocks, while Kishane was all the way up there with Fred Curley and Nakani and all of them were like up there. He got ran down. I feel like Kishane has learned from that, or at least right now he's still learning from that. And we're about to see him go against Noah at a couple diamond leagues to get that experience. Now, like you said, data, we're going to get that data. That's probably going to change, how we look at the field. But I think Kishane is looking at, okay, I know that Noah is coming. I'm going to get out the blocks before him, but I know Noah is coming behind me. He's preparing to make sure he can hold him off to the best of his ability. But on the flip side, Noah also realizes I I know I may not be able to get out as fast, but what am I doing in the next, from 30 all the way to 100 to make sure I can do the best I can or whatever it is.
Who do you think is going to benefit more, though, from these Diamond League races, Noah or Kishane?
I think Noah, Noah. And I think really because he hasn't like he didn't have a season yet, right? Like he was injured all year. So him racing himself, not only is Noah going to be racing himself into shape, but he's already kind of like in shape. Like I know we're talking about the 100, but you don't run 19.6 if you're not in some good form. Like yes, I know he ran 10 flat at the London Diamond League and whatever, but like he is in shape. He is ready. So, and now as he gets more races, he's going to get better and better. And the thing I think about Noah is that he does not have to be the fastest in the field. And I don't think he ever will be the fastest in the field, but he knows how to control a race where it's almost like people respond to him rather than like other people running their own race. They're thinking about Noah as opposed to like them thinking about what they need to execute.
Well, that's why I agree with you. I think it is that Noah's going to get, but I'm thinking specifically on this matchup, Noah Kishane, that Noah
Mm-hmm.
will benefit more because Kishane, the only preparation he can have is that he has to fix something that has nothing to do with Noah. Just being real.
Yeah.
It's not a Noah problem. You see what I'm saying? Like Noah is stalking his prey and Kishane is the prey in this situation. That's literally how he has to run that race to win. And he can see him in theory. Whereas Kishane, his problem has been consistent. It wasn't just Noah. Akani did it to him, and Jarnell Hughes just didn't have the ability to go get him. Right? This is what happened. Where he gets out, he's running, he's free and clear of the field. You're running strong, you're running confident, and then he starts having that neuromuscular fatigue breakdown. This is what it actually is. This is for all the people who want to run away with all these PRs, talking about what you're going to do. The thing is, it's neuromuscular fatigue. So the only way that he can fix that is even in training, he has to train himself to do it right while tired. Like when everything is failing at that point. And now he has to do it right while tired with them coming to get him. Who he got in practice is going to come to get him. You feel me? Like, how do you simulate that? You seem like it's not an easy thing to train to fix that last 20. It doesn't like you could say it takes reps, but like when he goes out and has a race where he blows him out,
Mm.
that did nothing for my race model. Noah can run every single round the same way as far as like practicing the race model because he's always stalking his prey. He'll just catch him a little sooner.
Yeah, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So he's like he can technically run the right that race the same way, whereas Kishane has to race a ghost. You see what I'm saying? Like, 'cause, like he can't feel it. He can't see it. The only time he's gonna feel it and is gonna be at the last possible moment, like out of nowhere. And the hope is that I don't think his race model is that. You see what I'm saying? I don't think his race model is when they come, I'm gonna hold it together. His race model is I'm gonna hold it together and they won't come.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? By the time he's feeling the footsteps, it's too late. That's what I'm trying to say. If he's hearing and feeling it, it's too late. He needs to be in a position where he's not hearing and feeling it, and that's why everybody's on the Kashane bandwagon because he might be that. He might be able to not hear the footsteps, and it won't matter. Because if he goes 971, I would say it won't matter. It won't matter what y'all
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. I think I mean I would actually love to be wrong because I want to see people run faster, but I actually think if he runs in the same range like 975, 974, I actually don't think it would matter. Because I'm not sure, and it's to the point where I feel like Noah doesn't necessarily have to run as fast to to control a race. But I feel like if Kashane is able to get to this 974, 975 consistently, I'm not 100% sure Noah can get to that realm just based on what I've seen. Now, I don't know. I don't know. So, yeah, I guess that's is why even me, like I still have Kashane as like my like prohibitive favorite for the gold because I can see him reaching a level that other athletes just can't reach at the moment. And it's still a question mark on if he'll do it in that final, but going based off what I've seen and going based on the fact that he's healthy and running consistently on the circuit this year, like he's raced against Akani and seen what Akani can do. He's about to race against, Noah and see what he can do. So he's raced against Zarnell and Trayvon. So I feel like he's just gathering more to make sure he's prepared for that final in Tokyo.
Yeah,
So
but here's the thing: racing Noah in London ain't racing Noah in that final. That's the difference. He's
it's
he's
true.
he goes through a metamorphosis over the course of a season. He's then that's what you talk about him not needing to be the fastest because people I've seen it in the comments kind of like, oh, he lost this race against Oblique. He lost Oblique last year. You see
Yeah,
what I'm
that,
saying?
that yeah.
Like it's not even that, and not like you can talk about the margins, but like the way that Noah runs and the way that he kind of moves through his season, he can lose races in the hundred specifically and still get you at the end.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else needs to take they need to get him then because he's not ready. Like he's vulnerable earlier in the year in ways that he won't be later. It's just like, I mean, it almost feel like Dragon Ball Z, like this man about to go Super Saiyan.
No, no.
You feel me?
It
Like
is
it's
crazy.
like right now you just fighting Goku. You ain't fighting Super Saiyan Goku yet.
I know it's
That's gonna
crazy.
come out when you get to the final. And shoot, he went Super Saiyan last year. He might go Super Saiyan 2.
I
You know
know.
what I'm saying? Like there might be another rung. So that's why like if like, that's just my logic on like
Yeah.
the final is gonna be a different animal than whatever these races are.
So what do you think? I don't know. Do you feel like Noah has a ceiling? Like, do you imagine Noah
Yes.
running? Do you
He does
think
have
he
a
could
ceiling.
run like 974?
No.
So then
I said that with a straight face. No.
I know he said that quick. So then at that point, the thought process is, I guess you said at the top where it's like you're expecting Kashane to drop back. Like you're expecting him essentially to not perform to the best of his ability in
I
that
mean,
final.
we keep saying his ability is something we ain't seen. That's the problem.
Well, I mean, like his 975. Like we're expecting him to not
This is how
replicate.
the this is that's a good example. Let's use that number. I'm pulling this based off of Coach Rob logic. Y'all ain't gotta like it. Coach Rob is just my Coach Rob logic is as follows. If 976 is the line that literally no human being had been able to pass since Kashane from 2016, 2017 till now, then I do believe Noah can give you 976. If we just want to
Yeah.
go clock and forget about like assume I'll call them generic win factors. 1-0 win.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he can give you 976. I'm expecting that Kishane's going to give me at least 977 in that final. I'm using last year's calculator. Slight drop back from what his best, you know, Jamaican trials final race was. Because I don't expect him to run new PRs in the Diamond League. I don't see that coming. Because
Yeah.
I'm using the logic of what we saw last. Granted, he didn't run as many races, but I'm saying I don't think that that's his goal.
Hmm.
I don't think he's coming there and say, I'm about to go run 970 today. Because I don't think that's how his coach is moving it. So as a result, he's going to try to go off like a bomb at the Worlds in the final. That's what he's going to attempt to do. It may or may not work because in the Olympic final it didn't work. So for that reason, if Noah can go 976, this is how people can come back to this video or they can watch a new one and they can put comments on it. If you want to hear a take, and I might edit it, but as of today, I believe what I'm saying. 976, 977. I think those are the final results we're getting if we get a 1-0 win or something close to it. And it's going to be Noah 976, Kishane 977. I said it.
Mm.
But all Kishane has to do, I'm not changing the pick. I'm just putting why I would be wrong. I would be wrong if he can just show us I can go faster. If he goes 9-7, it might be 975, 976 Kishane because Noah doesn't quite get him. It might be 974, 973, 972, 971. It's not going to be more than 600ths of a second. I'm using the Jarnell Hughes logic. It won't be more
Mm.
than 600ths. That'll be him to the field. It could be 971, 977, 971, 976. You see what I'm saying? But it really, I don't think he's going to put more than 600ths on the rest of the field on whoever is actually next to him when it's like behind him when it's all done if he wins. That's why when people start talking crazy about 9-6, get that out of your mind. Like that guy doesn't run track anymore. Like if you want to see Usain Bolt run that, you need to go play a highlight because he ain't gonna do it now. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like you best play. That's the only way we're gonna get to experience that. So I mean, hey, am I crazy for this? Probably.
You uh, it's not crazy. I can follow that logic. I guess I'm just thinking that based on the fact that Kishane Thompson won the silver medal by thousands of a second at his first ever championship. Like that was only the second time that he ever ran 3 rounds in his life. Maybe he did it when he was, a junior or something, but like he was able to do that. And now he's healthy. He's running. Not only is he running more races, but he's running races against the guys who are going to be his top competitors when we get to the world championships. And so he's giving me more reasons to say, okay, he's going to be able to show up and do a little bit better, if not remain equal to what he did at Jamaican trials when we do get to Tokyo. That's like what I'm thinking. Even right after, like barely a week after Jamaican trials, he went to Prefontaine. He ran 985, so not as fast, but again, 1 week later, all kinds of things, a little bit of drop off. So I feel like there's aspects that, like, I can imagine a world where Kishane runs 974 and Noah runs 976.
Yeah.
Right. I can imagine that world.
He just has
Like,
to go faster than 976 to have it in the bag to me. That's all you got to do.
yeah, 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 yeah.
That's
So
all you
I
got to
don't know.
do. But he has to do it in the final
And yeah.
specifically. So before we close, then we got to say this. Where do Kenny Bednarek and Oblique Seville fit in this?
So I'll start with Oblique Seville because Oblique Seville is so tricky because he's every year he runs extremely fast at some point during the year, and even when we get to the global championships, like he runs very fast, but he doesn't deliver in that final. Now I know last year he got injured in the final. He still ran 991. Like you don't just get injured and run 991 without being extremely talented. But in previous years he hasn't been able to deliver. I think I'm not ready. I want to see how, like, what he does on the circuit for the rest of the, before we get to Tokyo, before I'm like 100% confident that he's going to get on the podium. We all know he has a talent too. You don't run 9.8s as consistently as he does without the talent to get on the podium. But will he actually do it? I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure yet. That's at least what I think about Oblique.
Okay.
So, yeah,
So I'm not mad at the take. I mean, I feel like if there ever was a year for Oblique to get a medal, this is it.
this is it. Yeah.
But gold ain't the color.
Mm.
Not in the Kishane Noah world. I don't think that's the color. I mean, yes, he beat Noah in London, But that again, that was just regular Goku. Like that wasn't the Super Saiyan version. Like we not here yet. So I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just what past history tells me. So for that reason, I would say, um, because I think another way to say it is, I think where Oblique is at this point, or roughly around this time in the year, going toward the championship, is very similar to where he was last year. I think where Noah was when they faced off is not roughly similar to where he was in the 100 at the prior year. That's why the
Yeah,
gap was larger.
of
I don't think
course.
the gap was because Oblique is that much better. It's because Noah was worse in that moment, but that was like by design. My first 100. See, what Noah did, which is unique, is he decided to like just basically open his season going for the big guns. He didn't
Yeah,
do no
literally,
warm-ups. Every
literally.
race was just a real race. There were no warm-up races. So like, yeah, I think this is the year. But then when you say Oblique versus Kenny, I see them in the same boat where if there was a year to get a medal, this is the year. I just don't think that medal's going to be gold. And truth be told, well, I think with Kenny it's kind of hard because I think I have no evidence to believe that when put under pressure, and so when put under pressure, he'll hold it together, like to keep somebody off of him who's coming with all the firepower and what they got. That's why it's you kind of put him in the mix in this type of a race, but not at the top of it. Because in Grand Slam,
Mm,
he was just running away. I mean, okay, fine. He got that Jamaica race, but like nobody was themselves yet. Everybody was starting. From that point
mm.
on, he just kind of ran away from fields and then finally got a field at USA's. And that field couldn't run with him in the first half. Like the first 80, they couldn't run with him, but then they came
Yeah,
and they almost got him.
came close.
They
Yeah,
almost got him. And with his strength through a 200, they shouldn't have came and got him.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Because no
Yeah,
disrespect, Courtney Lindsay and T. Marth McCallum, I am not seeing them as medal contenders.
yeah, yeah. I'm not. They're not in my. Yeah, they're not in my conversation. Just
They're
coming
not
off
medal
of
contenders for me.
USA's.
No.
Yeah, it's tricky. I would say so. Even though like Noah, Kishane, I see them as like the top two. I actually do think that Oblique, Kenny, and even Akani Simbine, I actually see them as challengers for gold as well. Now, that is not to
Against
say,
Kishane.
yeah. So yeah, Kashane is like my gold medal favorite with Noah just behind. But I think everyone else, like, it would not surprise me if Oblique, Kenny, or Akani actually did win gold. I actually think they can. Now, that of course would hinge on like Kashane not necessarily performing as well, Noah not performing as well. But it's not far fetched for me because once, even though like Kenny had the I think it was like plus 1.8 win to run at 9.97. For me, once you run 9.7, 9.80 or 9.81, like for me you're in the conversation because at that point it does get pretty close. Now Noah has way more experience of like running people down. Kashane has way more just like pure talent, but there's a world for me where Kenny, Oblique, and Akani can definitely win a gold medal, but I'm not picking them for gold.
Yeah, see, I don't know where that world is. Like I thought about it and I was thinking like Space Jam. I'm like, where is this world? Like like I again, I'm living in the world where they are competing for a medal, most likely bronze. Like any number of them, any one of them getting bronze this year just makes sense. But
Yeah,
and again, I mean, could Noah end up off the podium? I don't, it's still hard for me to say that because I'm saying it
yeah,
on,
I
you
agree.
wouldn't be saying it based off of real evidence of like races run in the past 2 years. You'd be
Exactly.
saying it in championships. You would be saying it because you just all of a sudden think something about to fall apart.
Yeah, you'd have to
And
think he's getting probably injured or something. Something is
yeah, because
happening.
the real question is who's coming to get him.
Yeah.
Like you think Akani's gonna come get him? Like you really think he's coming to get Noah in that final? I don't see that. I don't see that. He'll run with him. He'll go with the pace. I don't see him going and getting him. You know what I mean? Like not the way he's gonna go. So but again I had to ask like where do they factor in? Because they're the two names that are I think at the top of the
Mm. So,
pile. I think Akani is in
you
the
think
next
Okani is
group
below
behind
them?
them. I mean, he was so competitive earlier in the year, but that was earlier in the year. We're about to see whatever his final form is in a moment. But
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I actually feel like, and again, I said essentially all five of them, like Kishane, Noah, Akani, Oblique, Kenny. Like I can imagine any of them winning gold, but Kishane, Noah, I feel like they're a step ahead of the field. I actually could argue that Akani is like a step ahead of Kenny because he just has more consistency over 100 meters and against the top guys like day in day out on the circuit where I've seen Akani beat Kishane. Now it's different than what we saw,
that's true. I'll give you
in
that.
terms of
That's
Kishane,
fair.
but
I'll
I
give you
value
that.
that
That's a
level
moment.
of like, okay, I've run this guy down. Like I've run this guy down.
That's important.
So, that's what I think about. Um, yeah, that's kind of what and even again, Akani not like the best of the bunch, but like Oblique Seville has never beat Kishane. There's very few people who have beaten Kishane Thompson. Again, I know it wasn't the same Kishane that we're seeing now, but that means something to me. That means a little bit to me.
I'll give you
So
that. That's not for nothing.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm not. That's not for nothing. I mean, well, I gotta, leave it here. Is there anyone who we didn't say? A name we
Uh,
just didn't say yet? Because, like I said, the Americans, the other ones we're bringing to the party. I'm sorry. Y'all might make the final. I just don't think the podium is what we're discussing.
yeah, and they can surprises can happen for sure, and they're talented, but like I don't think we're banking on Courtney Lindsay or T. Mars McCallum getting a medal at this point based on what we've seen. I would say, I think the two people we have to shout out are Zarno Hughes and Letsile Teboho because they literally got medals last time. Like they literally got on the podium. Letsile got the silver, Zarno got the bronze. Now, it's a different landscape, but and specifically even in the 100 with Letsile, he hasn't been looking great. But to your point of what we saw from Zarnell, he was coming in that Prefontaine race, and he's done pretty consistent through the years. So those are the only two guys right
He
now
he's the
that.
one. More than let's see, like if I'm going off of what I've seen,
Mm,
Jarnell is because it looked like 2024 was a down year for him based on a lot of factors.
yeah,
So it's like you unfortunately you didn't really get to witness him running like himself.
yeah,
And that's what he this year he's looking more like that 2023 guy again and then taking strides. So again, gold is not in the discussion, but I'd say could he sneak in there for bronze? I think that's fair. Amidst this
yeah,
whole field, he could sneak back in there and get it. And I think that's exactly what it would be. He'd have to go get it and snatch it up
yeah,
because technically he beat Oblique already, 2023, stuff like that.
yeah,
I mean, and
yeah.
Kenny wasn't even there at that point. So, I mean, well, hey, I mean,
Hey,
that's the men's 100 as of now, but it's still we still have the two men at the top of this pile,
yeah,
and everybody knows that. I mean, I think Kashane, the difference is the beast that he is. We've already seen, that lion roar. Like we've already
mm,
seen that. You've already heard the reverberations. It's just like, okay, what's going to happen when he step back? Whereas Noah, he. The thing is, until you see Super Saiyan, I'm gonna return back to that regression line for now. Is hard to express because he's now shown us year to year that's what it is. Remember, 2023, when he wins the world in the 100, he opened that season losing to a high school kid.
it's true.
So that's why at that point, you got to say, you know what? We can't necessarily judge these races the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
way
yeah.
because it's clear that your season doesn't go like that.
Oh no, at all.
And let's see,
I
like,
yeah.
let's see, like to some degree as well.
Let's see. Like, yeah, we've just seen Zatzile has been tricky because he's run very frequently. He
Yeah.
just hasn't, been shown up. But he's, we can never like completely count him out. But I think he's right now same conversation as like a Zarnell, where it's like, he's challenging for a bronze medal. And similar like with all the other guys behind Noah and Kishane, top of the bunch, and then everyone else is kind of like fighting it out behind them. I think that some of those guys can still challenge for gold, but I'm not picking any of them for gold at the moment. That's what I'd say.
Hey, I don't think that, but you're allowed to.
Hey,
Hey,
that's the
I mean, at least for the rest of the crowd, because you said challenging for gold. Hey, There's two other spots on the podium they can challenge for. I don't think gold is one of them.
Well, I mean, if probably not. If you're saying it's Noah Kishane, then there's one spot on the podium they get
Yeah,
challenged
but
for.
I could see a world in which, like, I could see a world in which things go wrong for Noah, and I don't think this is the world will be in, but I think it's possible he can end up sliding off of the podium more than Kishane.
Oh, wow. That's
I don't think he
it.
will. It's just for what
Yeah.
their race, again, for what their race model. Go back to the Olympic final for what those race models are. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
for how they move. That's why I'm not saying it's a lock in step 1-2. I think for Kishane, the only way I see him losing is getting silver.
That's so interesting.
Because
It's crazy
Noah is
because
sort of like it's like Noah has a target that goes on the guy who's at the top of at the top of that list, and he's now running for the target. You see what I'm saying? And as a result, he may or may not hit it, but history says there's a good percentage chance he'll hit it. You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? That's why it's like because the thing is we won't know it till we see it. That's the Noah Lyles experience. He be winning 100-meter finals and it don't be feeling like he gonna win till he win. And anybody
Literally.
who lies, that's why you can't. I mean, I've seen the movie before. I've seen this movie. So by the time you get to Fast and Furious 5, you kind of know what's gonna happen. But at the same time, like the movie still has that same tension in it. Whereas
Mm,
Kashane, he's trying to put his foot on your neck. He wants to end this race before it even begins.
yeah, yeah.
He's trying to break your spirit to the point where you don't even keep running, where you just let him have the gold. That's a different race model. You see what I'm saying? Like that's
That's
not what
true.
this is, and that's
Man.
why I'm just saying if we're talking about like reality, how would it go? But that's why
Yeah.
again, but gold though, I think only Noah could take him off of that spot.
Yeah. I
That's
don't
what
know.
I'm trying to say.
Ooh,
I don't think anyone else could go get him.
probably. I guess I'm it's even though I have Kashane as the gold medal favorite, actually harder for me to see a world where Noah is not on the podium. Even though like I think you broke it down pretty well, but like I just think Noah championship setting, Noah is the guy. And it's hard, anything can happen, but I find it hard to not see Noah on that podium in some one way or another. I don't know, but I don't know. It's tricky. I'm trying to like, and it's almost like I can't see Kashane and Noah off the podium, but I can see Kashane off the podium before I see Noah off the podium in a sense.
I can't. Because I know
And
why.
it's crazy.
We're coming from two different angles.
I know.
But my angle is like that. Kashane is gonna he's gonna drop a bomb. Nobody else can go at this pace, and they are gonna have to deal with it. The thing is, okay, let's just play this out. Let's say that Kashane does come and drop a bomb. Let's say that he does give you 974. That's a bomb in the grand scheme of sprinting for what the world
Yeah,
is now. Whether
yeah,
people
by
like it or
far.
not, you're gonna have to accept it. So if he goes 974 with a plus point 0.5, that's what happens. Who's gonna get rattled? A lot of people in that race will get rattled because they can't go with the pace. Noah's the
Hmm.
only one who won't
Yeah,
get rattled because his whole race model this year has been I'm running for the target.
I agree.
That's why when he's out, he's like, well, everybody's out when I do my thing. So I'm not gonna get phased. But for the people who are like, I get off the block and then he leaves you and you're like you think a little bit because it's like this race isn't going well at 40. Whereas Noah, he still thinks he has a shot at Phil or at 40.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? Like that's the difference. And that's why I think if Kashane executes anything close to what he's supposed to, he will mess up everybody else who ain't Noah. Because his race
hmm,
model is Kashane proof. It just doesn't mean he can beat him. It just means that it's not because in sprinting you are tech there is a gamesmanship of who's around you, and that's the whole controlling the race. And Noah's the only one who's more or less that won't affect him. You just
yeah,
got to outrun him. Everybody else will be affected. Trust me. You a starter and you dependent on that, and Kashane go get you in the fourth, fifth, 50. you're gonna be pretty depressed. You're gonna keep
No,
running, but at the same time, you will already know, all right, well, let's see if we can get silver. Like, oh man,
that's
Noah's
true.
coming. You see what I'm saying? Like, so now it's a double hit of like,
Mm,
he left, he's coming.
yeah,
And
that
Noah's just
yeah,
like, run the race. I already know.
that's true.
At 30, he's like, the race is going how we thought it would.
Yeah, it's working out for me. Yeah. But that's why I could see it where it's like Noah, I can't see him off the podium because he's everything is essentially working out how he thinks. He doesn't need to like the baseline is that he's going to be in the back. Like that's the baseline. He's either going to be in the back or he's going to be right along with people. That's the baseline. But Kashane, again, I've seen him lose to Noah. I've seen him lose to Akani. Like I've seen him get run down. So there's a world where he does break down in the second
Yeah.
half. But
But that
that's why
Akani
I'm
loss,
like,
though, although it means something to try to be as, you know, clean or consistent with my logic across the board. The Akani loss to me is for all the people who said it was the season opener and so on. I'll
yeah,
say, okay, fine. If that's what y'all want to say, and we can apply that logic to Noah, we'll apply it to him. That
yeah,
you didn't get him in his final anything close to his final form yet.
yeah,
Like the
yeah.
975 to me is okay. Maybe I don't even know why I'm doing all this Dragon Ball Z stuff today. Maybe he's Vegeta. You feel me? Like and like maybe that's what that is. And he's giving you that, Super Saiyan energy, on that end. Like that's what the 975 is telling you. I'm about to do something y'all can't do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You see what I'm saying? Like, but like he wasn't running as that yet.
yeah. Of
So
course,
that's
of
that's
course.
why I say it's a little bit different. But
Yeah,
hey, at the end of the day, we got to see how this race actually plays out. And we've still got some days, some real days between now and then for things to change. But one thing ain't gonna change that everybody knows who the targets are.
yep.
That's that.
Kishane Thompson, Noah Lyles. Those are the targets right now, and then everyone
So
else. The USA Championships just finished off in Eugene, Oregon, and the 100-meter teams and the 200-meter teams are set on the men's side. So the question now shifts and the energy shifts over to the relay and selecting and determining who is going to run on the relay and can the United States men actually get a gold medal at the World Championships later on this summer. Now, there's a lot of guys who are in the conversation, and unfortunately have seen a lack of success when it comes to USA getting on top of the podium at the Olympic Games. They are the defending world champions from 2022, so they do have some accolades across the board, but it's still always a question: can they get on top of the podium? But looking at the guys that we have, especially again coming off of USA's, where the teams on the 100 and the 200 are set, what do we think in terms of the best team that the USA can put together to go for a gold medal at Worlds? What do we think?
I'm gonna tell you what I thought when everything was done. Like when the 200s were over, I said, "Here we go again." That's how I started. So, hey, look, we talking about the best team we could put together. Well, this conversation can be had in multiple ways. Do we mean the best team we could put together on paper? Do we mean the best team we could put together in the realm of reality? Like emphasis
Mm,
on in the realm, because there's multiple realms of reality. There's the realm of the guys who will run. There's the realm of the guys who should run. You see what I'm saying? Like, so okay. Well, okay, for the people in the back. The problem with Team USA's 4x1 is as follows. We don't know who's finna be on this relay until after the USA trials are done. And that's not the case for almost anybody else who's actually planning on beating us.
hmm
Am I right?
Yep, we got to get trials done, and then they can pick. Okay, let's start to talk about like right now. They're still talking about and deciding who's going to be on the team. Maybe it may not even be right now. Maybe sometime down the line. But yeah, we have to wait for trials.
Well, I mean, even beyond that, okay, because like, okay, using World Relay to the benchmark, Canada and South Africa sent their team.
Yep.
And we say their team, I mean, like, those four men you saw, that's who they intend to put into the World Championship final, the exact same group. We sent four guys, two of which, in all likelihood, aren't even supposed to be in Tokyo now.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
in all likelihood, something could change. but they would be basically doing something brand new for both of them to show up in Tokyo from what we know of past history. Am I correct?
Yeah,
All right.
pretty much, pretty much. We
All right.
can we can pretty confident about that.
All right. So if that's the case, now you got to have a new team because you have two guys. You could, in theory, run it back with those two. The problem is they both run the 100 and the 200, and we're going to assume they're going all the way through to the 200-meter final. It doesn't even matter what happened in the 100 final. What matters is the 200-meter final for the purposes of argument. So if
Yeah.
Kenny Bednarek and Courtney Lindsay are going to be there, like
Then
they're not running the first round.
they can't. I mean, in theory, I guess they
They
could, but
can.
like they're not. Like we can
They're
assume that
not
they're
going to.
probably not. Yeah.
All right. So, okay, all of that to get to the team. So let's focus on who should run the final first, then
Hmm.
have an honest conversation of how they're going to get to the final. Because there's no guarantees that's actually going to happen since they're going to have to basically put out a whole brand new team just to get them to that race, assuming
Yeah.
everybody's focusing on their individuals. Because to start it off, Noah Lyles, Kenny Bednarek, and Courtney Lindsay are not supposed to be running in that first round if their season is going the way it's supposed to. That's
Yes.
three-fourths of whatever you were going to do.
Exactly. Exactly. And
Guaranteed.
we're guaranteed. Yeah, 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 exactly. Because those three, they're in both events. 200-meter final is essentially, it's just too close to the 4x4 heats. So then, well, okay, if we
For
look at the
4x1
final,
heats, yeah.
I'm sorry, the 4x1 heats, yeah. So if we look at the final, I think we can, I would say we can safely assume Noah Lyles at minimum is going to be in the final of the 4x4, 4x1. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, health assumed, all that stuff from last year, whatever. Like, Noah Lyles, he is the guy that needs to be in the final. And in my opinion, he needs to be running the anchor leg. Like, I feel like that should be relatively consensus across the board
Yeah,
with
he's
people.
he's at this point. Let's actually have the discussion. The reason why
Mhm.
he's the anchor leg is not just because he won the Olympic gold in the 100. That's the dumb idiot logic reason. The real reason is because if you're building a 4x1 as a coach who actually cared on running the best possible team you could, he's the only guy who I now know has all the history to suggest if he got the stick for whatever the reason not in front, he could get me in front.
Mhm.
Am I right? Like that's the real reason.
Pretty
Also,
much. Pretty
we have
much.
more confidence now that he ain't getting walked down.
Nah, I mean, he's definitely proven year after year that he's not getting walked down like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
The
he's
weakest
proven it.
the weakest part of his race, you can take that out of the equation in a relay.
It's
Because by the
eliminated.
time he has the stick in his hand, he should be 80% of the way to where he's headed
Hmm.
on speed. Like when he
Exactly.
has it, rips it through and he's running. He should be at least 80% of the way to top gear. And his problems be in those first 60, 75, 80%.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's why you put him there. Okay. So with the other leg, you tell me what your lineup is. Because I think we saw something very similar for the most part. Between the video you made and what I made. But, yeah. Who's your three then we're filling in?
Okay, so this is
In
this
what
is
order?
tricky, and yeah, and this is only for the final. We'll talk about the heats later, but like I'm thinking, so at USA's, we saw Kenny B, of course, got the win. We saw Courtney Lindsay finish second, and this is in the 100 meters. T. Mars McCallum, he got third. But then behind them, Trayvon Bromell was fourth. Christian Coleman was fifth, and they ran 9.8s. Now, some people might say, oh, you got to put T. Mars or you got to put, these people because they were in the 100 team. I think that Christian Coleman, even despite not having the greatest of seasons, and specifically when talking about like his performance at the start, he is one of the best starters in history. He hasn't shown it fully this year, but I feel like based on what I saw at USA's, he's proven enough to me that he should still be on the first leg for the United States. I think he deserves that leg because of what he's shown over the past couple years, because of what he was able to show when the moment mattered. Yes, he didn't make the team in the 100, but he stepped up. Like he didn't show like he was not Christian Coleman all year until that 100-meter final, and he showed up with that 9.86. So to me, that proves okay. I'm putting him on that first leg because I know that he's going to show up at the World Champs. Then I want to see. I did say in my video Trayvon then Kenny, but I'm teetering. I could see either or. So Trayvon second, Kenny be third, or Kenny be second, Trayvon third. But I've just seen more from Trayvon when it comes to the 100. Obviously, he's run 200s, but a little less sure about his ability to run that curve than I am about Kenny B, who is excellent around the curve. Like he is always leading off the curve. He always knows how to execute there. So on paper, my initial thought process of a team is Christian Coleman to Trayvon Bromell to Kenny B to Noah Lyles.
What
But I can
happened to Courtney
interchange.
Lindsey?
So that's the problem. Courtney Lindsey, he could be on second leg or third leg as well. I guess I don't know. I could You can interchange maybe Courtney Lindsey and Trayvon. I guess another team would be like Christian Coleman to Kenny B to Courtney Lindsey to Noah Lyles. But I don't know. I feel like Trayvon Bromell's experience, because even though the USA hasn't won a medal or I'm sorry, Trayvon Bromell hasn't won a medal on the 4x1 for the United States. He's run on various different relays and has had relatively successful performances. In 2015, he ran on the relay. The USA was DQ'd, not fault of Trayvon. 2016, he ran on the relay. He ran the anchor leg. USA was DQ'd by issues with another handoff. 2021, he ran on the relay in the heats of the 4x1 at the Olympic Games. He ran the first leg. They were DQ, or no, they weren't even DQ. They just didn't get around because of or they didn't qualify because of other people. So essentially, I feel like Trayvon. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm saying other stuff, but I feel like Trayvon Bromell is actually relatively consistent on the relay, whereas Courtney Lindsey, he's run at World Relays. He ran at the Olympics last year, but just in my mind, I feel like Trayvon Bromell I feel like he deserves to be on the relay, but I'm kind of splitting hairs. I don't know. I don't know what you think. What do you
All
think?
right, so there's two ways you could go, but
Yeah.
let's go so again. Right now, again, this is the on paper conversation.
Yeah.
We're
On
about to
paper.
have the realm of reality in a moment. On the on paper conversation, because okay, I'll even add this part. I'm pretty sure somebody's in the comments already saying it. In the realm of reality, are you really sure you want Kenny B to Noah right now? In the
Right
realm,
now,
in the realm of reality, is that what we want?
in the
Like
realm of reality, based on what we know right now, I
the
guess
answer would
no.
be no. So I
No.
mean, but on paper, that would be the best third to fourth. It
In
would.
my opinion, it
Okay,
would. Yeah.
so but see, the thing is, I'm gonna say this. Kenny B to Noah. These are the guys who I think need to be on it. Courtney Lindsey, Kenny B, and Noah. If we're talking about the best team you could give me.
Hmm. Okay.
If
Interesting.
on paper you're trying to give me the best team, but now I'm gonna explain why. We don't know it. Noah's not a question mark. The thing
You
is,
said.
the third leg, I actually always deal with third leg last. No disrespect. Third leg is the leg that you fill in. You deal with your other two legs first because those are a little bit more consequential. It's great if you have an ace to use as your third leg. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is Christian Coleman, the reason why you keep putting him on the leadoff is because whatever his superpower is taken away when you move him.
Exactly.
You could put him on third. There's just no great reason to do so. Because
Exactly.
who do you think, okay, Christian Coleman versus Courtney Lindsey in a rolling start going around that turn, who you got?
Well, Courtney Lindsey. If we're talking
My
about a
point.
rolling start, yeah, I'm taking Courtney Lindsey.
But if it's from a dead start, who you got?
I'm taking Christian Coleman.
You see how it changes the equation. So that's
Yeah.
why I would put Courtney on third and put Kenny on second for the reason we just described. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like,
Not mad at that.
because, okay, now here's the next thing. On a straight, who you want, Courtney or Kenny? Consistently, it's been who?
Kenny, but so for
Because
me,
I've watched
I'm
Kenny and Courtney race multiple times in 100 now.
yeah. Yeah. But the running the back straight doesn't necessarily mean like, okay, you're the fastest 100-meter sprinter, right? There's like various different aspects to like an athlete being able to run that back straight, which is a relatively long leg. I think for me, because I've also seen Courtney run either second or even anchor. I think at the Olympics last year in the heats, he ran the anchor leg, if I'm remembering correctly. Like he's capable of running really well and being explosive, like or at least maintaining his top end speed. But so yeah, I mean we have seen more of Kenny on that second leg.
Yeah.
We have
That,
at least at World Relays.
for the record, that Courtney Lindsey anchor, this is my opinion. I mean, everybody else can have their opinions, including the coach. But like from what I understand, what I think the coach was doing was he was just a placeholder for Noah. That's all he was.
Oh yeah, of course,
Like,
of
so it
course,
wasn't about him being great at an anchor. It was like, I need to not mess with this thing as much as possible. But remember,
of
when Noah's
course.
not running, they rechanged, they restructured everything now.
They changed
Because it,
everything up.
Like that's what the issue was. But before it was supposed to be just a placeholder. Just take him out, put a guy in, and we're done.
Yep.
Like that was the concept. So to me, Courtney Lindsay belong because I think your two most talented sprinters, which are not up for debate right now, are Kenny and Noah, and those go second and fourth. Most coaches would agree with me, I believe. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe coaching theory has changed in the last few years, or maybe I just got it wrong. But typically, your most talented sprinters go there. And then your starter, if you have one, a true starter, you put him at the start, and then you fill in the third. So the thing is, who do you start? Do you start Trayvon or Christian? That's the real discussion to me.
Hmm.
That's the only
I
like,
mean,
and it's a toss up because you can't really go wrong as long as you're all in. Does that make sense? To me,
yeah,
you can't go if you go all in on either, and that team is a team and runs like a team, you're good. It don't matter to me. Like
interesting.
either one of those could be a team that could break 37 or get real close to it.
So you're split on Trayvon or Christian on the first leg.
I mean, if we're being honest, yeah, they
Mm,
ran the exact same PR in the 100, 9.76, exact same one. I
yeah,
mean, yes, Christian Coleman is faster in the 60, but if we're talking about PR, by how much? 300th? Isn't it
something like that.
639? Isn't it
Well,
six?
634 to
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He just ran the
Christian Coleman is
634.
like fast in the
He ran
in the
he ran the
60.
634. My fault.
Yeah, he's
I should have known that. It's just in my head. It just I seen him on 639 as well. So like regardless,
yeah, no,
okay.
he's
So
he's crazy.
technically, the thing is Trayvon doesn't break down as much in the back half of 100.
That's
And
why
and we started even that's why he beat him for the record. That's why he beat him in the USA's.
and
It
at
was the
USA's
last 40.
actually that's why I like him more on the second leg because he's able to like his second half I think is much stronger than people give him credit for. Whereas even at USA's, Christian Coleman beat Trayvon out of the blocks, like actually pretty significantly. Where Trayvon, unfortunately, that was just I feel like that was just a one off, not one off, but like just a race. He didn't have a really great
Yeah.
start.
He didn't have a
You
great
know,
race and still ran 984.
exactly.
Like
But
that's
like
how I say it. And I'm pretty sure he'd agree. That wasn't his best
yeah,
race.
exactly. But I feel like Christian Coleman, even considering what he's done this year, I feel like he's just more consistent on the start. I am so confident that if Christian Coleman, if he has a baton in his hand and he's in the blocks, that he's going to execute. He didn't even, same situation last year. He didn't make the Olympic team, but in both the heats and the final, Christian Coleman was explosive out of those blocks. But I definitely do hear, because even 2015, Trayvon Bromell, he ran the first leg at the World Championships for the USA. Um, but I don't know. It's tricky.
Yeah,
It's
because the
tricky.
debate we're having is the best team you could put together on paper. Your best team took Courtney Lindy out. My best team had him in.
Yeah.
That's the primary shift. We both believe Noah is the anchor. The problem is then what do you do with Kenny? To me, it's like okay, if you do the Courtney Lindy team, to me Courtney is third, and I don't really have it. To me, I don't really see any other place I'd want him. Like I like, and that's not again. He could
Well,
run a bunch of other stuff. That's not the point. The point is not
yeah.
whether he could run the other legs. The question is, what do I think is the best team I could give you? And I don't think the best team, the team that, because when I look at Team USA, I keep saying, world record watch is where we should be in this era of sprinting with all the talent we got. And we have not been putting it together because the Jamaican teams with Bolt were underachieving. If you actually know what they were capable of on the clock, they were
On
not
paper, yeah.
bad, but the talent they had could have gone even faster. So they're world record
Yeah.
holders without even maxing out. That's why it's like if this era of American sprinters maxed out, that could be their record. It really could on any given year. Like from 2022, 2023, 2024. I think in this window, I think
Hmm.
2022 on down was the window where we've been putting out the teams that on talent could make a run at that record. But the thing is, we be just trying to make a run.
I know. I
Like
mean,
we just be trying to get like, hey, can we get a gold medal? And it'd be gold medal or bust, and we'd be busting more than we need to. So I mean, all right. So that's the Courtney Lindsay roster is that to me where I already gave
yeah.
like I would swap that. If you take him out, which might make more sense in the realm of reality for reasons we're going to get into now about the first round to the second,
Yeah.
because we're going to build a relay and take all the three guys out. That's what we're going to do.
Because that's also I guess where I'm thinking about it because Courtney Lindsay, I guess there's two aspects. One, Courtney Lindsay is extremely talented, but there's something in my mind that also realizes I wonder about his 100 meter consistency. And then also going into the 4x1, because we're just going to assume everyone makes the 200 final for the United States. That means we're taking Courtney, Kenny, and Noah. So they're not running the heats. Now you have to switch in essentially an entirely different team, which is not as favorable. I mean, especially to be able to execute, it's maybe not as favorable considering what we've seen from the United States when it comes to their handoffs. Like, we want to maybe reduce the amount of changes that we have to do between the heats and the finals. But
I don't really see no type of way because I mean, okay, let's get real. If you take before this will kind of help us walk it there. If you
yeah,
take Courtney Lindsay out and run it with Trayvon and Christian, then of course now it's a simple debate. Christian
yeah,
first, Trayvon second. That's what's going to lead us to what we would do in the first round.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying? In the first round, it's 1-2. Like to me, that's not even something you really have to sweat. The
yeah.
reason why you don't play around with the anchor is because whoever's there is just a placeholder. That's all
It's
they are.
placeholder.
No
One
disrespect.
handoff. It's easy.
You're not really there to run anchor. You're there to get us to the final for Noah to run anchor. And we know that you're fast enough to not mess it up as long as we do everything else right. So the thing is, you could in theory go those two, Kenny Noah. You see what I'm saying? Like you see what I'm saying where it's like at least that block stays intact. And then we just
Yeah.
gotta put in our two guys where I say just let T Mars keep running his anchor and his placeholder prelim because that's what he's been doing the whole year with Tennessee. So just let him keep
Mm,
doing it. Like, and then
okay.
for the third leg, you need to now put somebody there. And the question is, who are we taking? I mean, they say Maurice Gleaton is in the pool. I don't know if that means Ronnie Baker is not. To me, he should be I would take him over Maurice Gleaton. They're in the same time
Yeah.
down to the line. But Ronnie Baker has been more consistently fast, even this year, in the
Of
few races
course.
he ran
Of
than
course.
whatever this kid has been doing. No shade to Maurice Gleaton. The reason why I have him at like a 90 now, he's a 98 overall rating on my scale. I mean, he's like a hair under a 99. But like at the end of the day, like we're comparing him to like people who've made Olympic finals and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not the same.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
It's yeah.
because we need another guy, and it ain't gonna be Robert Gregory, because let's assume he's in the 200-meter final.
Yeah. We just have to assume those 200 guys. We're
Yeah,
just gonna
just take them
assume they're
all
making the
out.
final.
And T Mars
Yeah.
is the only other guy who's there. So
Yeah.
you really need three people to come with you who
Exactly.
ain't even supposed to run an individual. And if it's three people, then Ronnie Baker would be the next of the three people. So Ronnie is third.
Yeah.
There you go.
I would agree. I would
Ronnie is
agree.
third. I mean, you could if they want to run Maurice Gleaton Jr. third, fine. But you know what? Okay, what are your
Mm.
what are your thoughts on? I mean, like, what are your thoughts on like? Because I know I gave my opinion, but like, what would you do then in the first round?
In the first round, I would have Christian, Trayvon. I would actually have T Mars run the third leg. And then I actually would take in a perfect world, I would actually have the same thing that you had. I would have Ronnie Baker there, where I'd have Christian, Trayvon, Ronnie, and then T. Mars McCallum. But I don't know how the selection process works, and if they already selected Maurice, if it's true that Maurice Gleason is going to Tokyo, then that might mean that Ronnie Baker isn't going because I'm not sure they're going to take four guys who didn't make the individual team. But I could be wrong. I would like Ronnie Baker there. But if that happens, I would actually probably run one of the 200 guys in the heats as the anchor leg so that they're just a placeholder for Noah Lyles to come into the final. Because sure, they made the final, but if everyone in the heats, they made the final of the 200, but the next day is the 4x1 final. And if everyone else does their job, then by the time they get the baton, they should be set and clear and be able to go. And like, if it's and when I say any of those guys, whether it's Courtney Lindsay or Robert Gregory, I feel like Noah Lyles, Kenny B, they need to be, they are the top two sprinters for the United States. So Courtney Lindsay, maybe he runs that anchor leg so that it's a placeholder for Noah to come in. If it's like Ronnie Baker is not running at in Tokyo, that's what I would do.
That's interesting. And for the people who don't know, while you were talking, because I got curious. I
Mm-hmm.
looked up Maurice Gleaton Jr.'s high school 4x1 career.
Mm.
Looked it up. And the only 4x1 that I see this boy running this year, allegedly, was at the Bob Hayes Invitational, where they barely broke 41, which is fast for a high school team. And he ran the second leg, and this relay looked pretty disgusting, to be quite frank.
So we have basically no data.
Like
Like
I'm looking at his team. Like the team that they're just a very fast high school team. Like when you break 41
yeah,
in high school, that's very fast for an American high school. Like especially like a regular high school, not like Bullis who like grabs kids from all over. But I mean
yeah,
like
yeah.
so what but I watched the race. Like I mean I might put on some of it on the screen. Like he ran the second leg and I can watch it again. Like I mean his second leg looked okay, but I mean like I'm basically saying like his 4x1 experience is nowhere near world championship, preliminary level. Nowhere
No.
near. Like it's just not that at all. You see what I'm
and
saying? So like
and
to ask
and
him,
he didn't even go through, like, obviously he's still in high school, so he didn't have like an NCAA system to work through because
oh
I,
yeah, their
I
passes were terrible. I'm watching it.
exactly so
I'm looking at these passes. Like they might have probably got DQ'd and maybe didn't get count, or they were like barely. Because I'm watching all their passes were like some pretty ugly Team USA style passes that was
see
getting us DQ'd. But I mean, it's a high school meet. I don't know who was officiating or whatever. I mean, they
see
won on speed. So I'm saying nothing against him. Hey, Maurice, if you're listening, I'm a fan of yours. I want to see you be great. I'm just saying that you're gonna probably have to do something you ain't never did before. Not just from the
exactly.
status of the race. Like, okay, I'm gonna turn this off. Like, like the status of the race is one thing, but I'm just talking about execution wise. This is not that. And to do
That's the
that
thing.
in that moment, so that's what I'm like, that's why I wasn't counting him originally. It
Yeah,
wasn't like to slight talent. It was the relay, the 4x1s. See, 4x4s, you can throw talent in there
that's a whole different,
very
like,
differently than
yeah,
you can with a 4x1. They have its own gamesmanship, but that's still how you run more than
yeah.
it is like the passing and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. In the 4x1, there's a world where you can get away with a semi-average like sprinter, like who doesn't have that crazy speed and is not as fast. But if they are able to execute a handoff and execute their leg, that will, I mean, case in point, obviously we're talking about the men, but 2012 Olympic Games, the women had Bianca Knight, who was not even one of the fastest. I don't even know if she broke 11 seconds that year, but they found a way to break the world record because they executed the handoffs well. You can't, 4x4, that's a whole different thing. In the 4x1, that's why I say I'm not sure about Maurice Clinton running here. I would prefer Ronnie Baker, but if the reports of, like, Maurice Clinton going to Tokyo, then it gets tricky on who they're actually selecting. That's
I
the
mean,
thing.
hey, I'm not, it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, you're running one team and then running a final team. So now let's
Yeah.
get back to this final and be 100%. Let's just assume they get there.
Yeah.
We're going to run a bunch of folk who ain't the main folk. Am I right? It's not the real team. We're going to run, Team USA red, and then we're going to run Team USA blue. So when Team USA blue, comes out there, right? Like Team USA Blue is the legit, Team USA, I guess, for my
Yeah.
purpose of my argument. When Team USA Blue runs, where do we expect them to fall then with like the world? Not just on talent, but like let's be real. Let's call it right
Mhm.
now. What do we actually think is going to happen?
Okay, so what's crazy is I actually think things are going to be closer than we expect with the USA. Maybe on paper they should win gold, but I'm not. If we're going based off like on paper, I think it's going to be very close with USA and Jamaica. I actually think it's going to be very, very close, considering what we've seen this year from all the main players. I think, and this is, I think both teams have issues with handoffs, but on paper, I think that USA and Jamaica should be far and away the best teams and should be kind of like pushing each other to, potentially, to either go for their gold medal. That's what I'm looking at when I'm looking at the guys right now. But I don't know if you feel different. If you feel like, I don't know.
Well, okay, let's call that because you brought up Jamaica.
Hmm.
Hey, Jamaica has the talent. I think that's not up for debate. They're the four who they're supposed to run. Let's call them out.
Yep.
Kishane Thompson, in no particular order. Kishane
Yeah.
Thompson, Oblique Seville, Hakeem Blake, Brian Lavelle. That's who you're
Yep.
supposed to run. And if y'all
Yep.
don't run that in the final,
Something
then,
like
but then here's the issue. What would keep them from running that? Would it be just Brian Lavelle? That's it.
that's it, because Brian Lavelle is doing the 200. So,
So
well,
everybody else
he's
can run the rounds without no issue in the 4x1. Like
so
it's just Brian Lavelle, right?
it's only Brian Lavelle. So I'm almost certain that's going to be their team in the final. That will be there for, whatever order that will be there for in the final.
I mean, if I was Jamaica, as bad as this sounds, gonna call it like I see it. If y'all was trying to have the safest way to get through and get medals, you're gonna have to run Brian Lavelle as your anchor, so that way you don't have to mess up as much as possible. I'm saying, if you're trying to make it as smooth as possible, because that way you can run a team, give it to somebody else, finish through the line, and then because 980, what do you run? 982?
982.
There you go.
Yep.
That's good enough for an anchor. So like, am I wrong?
But
Like,
yeah, I mean,
like I
this
know
then
you want to run Kishane as your anchor. I get it. But I'm saying the risk of having to put Brian Lavelle where he has to get and give a stick when he ain't do it in the previous round, and y'all know what y'all world relays just look like.
yeah, but
Just keep
I can.
just keep that like hey, we're not the ones in charge. I'm just
It's
giving I'm
true.
just I want to see Jamaica back on the podium. I'm telling you, that's your best bet
Yeah,
is
I
to
can
have
guarantee
him
you
run
that
anchor.
that's not going to happen though because of
Oh yeah.
how things are structured. Where Oblique Seville is not running first or second, and Kashane is not running first or second. Like it just those two guys, Kashane and Oblique Seville, they are running the straights. So Brian Lavelle has to run a curve. And like in theory, I think for me, in theory, Jamaica on I guess it's tough to say, but on paper there is a world where Jamaica has a slight advantage because they're only making one change. Whereas we know for a fact Kenny B and Noah Lyles, they're not running the heats. Like they are just not running the heats. And that also plays into my reasoning as to why I think putting Kenny B and Noah on third and fourth would be helpful. So now you're only changing out
Yeah.
one
I see
section
that
of the
argument.
relay. Yeah. But again, I think
I just
on
know that things
paper,
can go left
yeah,
real
yeah,
fast when you have people who don't run together.
yeah,
Like that's not the like not to, to cut you off. It's like it's just like with that point because that's where okay. Let's go back to like because both of these are the same issue. They're actually the same problem on both ends.
yeah,
Put Brian Lavelle on third. Let's
yeah,
talk about it. Speaking, this is where I don't know everything about coaching, but I do remember coaching the 4x1 and running it. I remember both. And with that in mind, the issue is the tape measures, the step counts, everything. Because everybody wants to coach the 4x1, however. But at the end of the day, when you're coming in with the stick and you're trying to get it to somebody, whoever you're getting it to, in all likelihood, it's going to have some dumb idiot thing that they do that makes it hard to get them to stick. But when that's your guy and you know him, then you know how to get it to him because that's your guy. Like I had a teammate where, hey, we won relays at our conference level and we had great success. But at the end of
yeah,
the day, there was us trying to practice it and get it right in practice. But I just kind of knew, and eventually in practice, I just stopped correcting him that when he would put his hand back, there were certain things he would do that were a little wonky, and I just had to work with it. So when we was in the race, I'm not getting mad at him. I'm just, this is what he does. And I get him the stick and then we keep it going. You see what I'm saying? Like when you switch the third leg, that person now has to deal with two different handoff segments. And now, let's say it's oblique on second. Oblique goes and runs it in one round with a specific step count, specific, you see what I'm saying? And then you got to change all that in the next race. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
and then same thing again, where whoever Kishane has to change it, then he has to change it from one race to the next. I totally understand why they're probably gonna do what you said anyway. I'm just saying if you really wanted to get a medal, if you want to give yourself the best chance to get gold, it's not gonna look like swapping that out. And that's why Noah to Kenny, like or Kenny to Noah in that case, I think on talent is already the best option, third to fourth. If you're gonna leave, if we're trying to leave the most intact, that's why I said
hmm,
the Courtney Lindsay team only makes sense if they can run rounds together, and I don't see that, which is
yeah,
why. Because remember, think about the women. You remember when they ran their rounds and then what they look like in their final, where because Gabby Thomas ran the rounds.
yeah. Oh yeah,
At,
last year at the Olympics, they ran the same four in the
yeah,
heats and the
and they
final.
improved.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? Like they needed to improve.
yeah,
Guess what? They needed to improve. They needed to step it up a little bit if they was actually going to get. And even then, they didn't run a great race
yeah. Oh yeah, no, of course
by
not.
any stretch. It's just they out talented the rest of the field.
It's
Like
true.
literally, if you just look at like what they had on results. So hey, I
Yeah.
mean, we gonna see how this all plays out.
Well, okay. So do you think that do you feel that USA is like they are the gold medal favorites, or do you think Jamaica, or I guess anyone else, could actually challenge them on paper.
I don't think USA is ever a gold medal favorite in this era. I think they I think they are like they're in this weird zone of like we know y'all supposed to win, but will you actually? So it's sort of like you think about like if anybody follow basketball for real. Like there were some years where the Dallas Mavericks they was having like leading league in record, but nobody was picking them to win the title. They won it in 2011, I believe, but like in general, there was a period of years, and it was because we just had no confidence when it was actually time to play in the playoffs, it was going to look the way it needed to look. Matter of fact, they ended up I think they were like one of they were a team that was a number one seed that lost to a number eight in the first round and got
Man.
eliminated. And this is why they had great records. That's how Team USA be feeling at times. So it's like it's boom or bust. And in 2023, when we won, we did a lot of stuff wrong, and we still won. Just to clarify, a lot of stuff. Our third leg handoff was bad on the front end, and it was bad on the back end, but we still
Mm.
won. So even when people say like we had success, if you were watching the races, we were the hop, skip, and a jump from nothing.
Yeah.
Like it was real close to getting nothing or getting gold. I think that's where America's gonna be. But I think this year I can see how South Africa, who's feeling confident, I can see how, I mean, Canada, you never count them
Canada,
out. I don't know if they're
always.
in gold medal form as a group,
Yeah.
but Jerome Blake is on one right now for like
He's
what
on
he's
one.
been
Yeah.
on. And he's the guy who's like the lesser known of the four, like the most kind of like off the grid in terms of when brought up in the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with that in mind, like I still think 3750 is more or less the number you got to break to give yourself a real shot at gold. And I feel like this
Ooh.
American team might get around, and maybe they get around in 3755. And that leaves the door open for somebody who just executes.
Yeah. Because if you're running 37:55, like yeah, that puts
Their
you
talent is faster, but will they actually, with all the stuff we talking about, are they
exactly.
really going to execute well enough to break that?
That's the question. That's the question because like there's a couple teams because I think Canada they ran 37:50 on the dot to get the gold medal last year, but then we've seen with South Africa they've already run 37:6 this year at World Relays. We know they're probably going to be getting faster. So it's I think and Jamaica obviously as well. They've run fast and they didn't even have their full squad. So I think it'll take that probably is the line of like I think that's the line for you to get on the podium, 37:50. But I think gold is going to take a lot more, and it should take a lot more. I mean, it's kind of disappointing to say that 37:50 is like the bar. That's like pretty embarrassing considering the talent that is
Yeah.
on the track.
Well, America and Jamaica are 37 flat teams on
Yeah,
paper.
exactly. By far.
But they're not, again, the comparison note is go look at what college teams actually run and then look at who's on those teams.
Yep, yep, yep.
And you'll see the difference between the teams that are out talenting the field and the ones that are actually maximizing their talent. And the ones that maximize their talent, those teams be in the 38s
Yeah.
for the most part at the college level. If you maximize your talent, you might show up in the 38s, maybe get to the low like under 38.5. But remember, y'all ain't Jamaica's talent.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't Team USA's talent. So
Like it's
like,
different.
but if you put it in perspective of like, okay, they could really get that out of this. And you try to tell me that like our floor is 38.5. Remember I told you that? Like
Yeah.
38.5 on the numbers is the floor for Team USA with the guys we're about to put out there. They'd have to run like a hot, nasty, garbage high school track team to run 38.5. Then they just have to be not garbage to run under 38. They don't get good till 37.5. Again, and by that I mean
Yeah.
good as in quotation marks. They can still have stuff go wrong and go 37.5. A good race, like an actually good race, takes you into the 37.0 window, 37.1,
Mhm.
37 flat, 36.9, 36. Like you see how like that could actually happen. And if you run the calculator on what a bunch of 9.8 dudes could actually run together, who ran it for real, it would say, yeah, we could go 36 something. But I ain't counting on it.
No, 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 no. I'm
I
not
think we're
gonna.
gonna leave the door open. If we do get gold, I think Noah gonna have to pull something out of the bag.
Yeah, I'll I'll say
It's
this.
gonna be a highlight.
It's gonna be crazy, and that's why I say it is going to be very close. Obviously, yes, South Africa, Canada, we didn't even mention like Japan and China. I know they're figuring out their team. Like, there's a lot of teams. Italy, still could pull some things out. But I think USA and Jamaica, this will be the one where it's like, all right, if everyone gets their handoffs right, it's going to be very, very close. And I don't know. I don't know what happens if USA and Jamaica get the baton on their anchor leg at the same time. And in theory, we see Noah versus Kishane. At that point, we'll already know whatever the 100-meter results went down. But in the 4x1, like we'll already have seen like all the highlights from the 100, all the things from the 200.
I mean,
But
I'll
if
say this much: if Kashane get the stick behind Noah, it's Noah. Noah's got it. It's over. If Noah
mm,
gets the stick behind Kashane, he still got a shot. I
he
mean,
says,
we're
yeah,
talking about like within striking distance, he still has a chance.
yeah, I probably agree with that because obviously Noah I feel like is just way more on talent in terms of like with that rolling start that you were talking about, like eliminate the weakest part of his race. It's like we already know what he can do, but and then add to that if he has like drive, if he needs to chase down Kashane or whoever, like we've seen him do it,
Yeah,
but then it is
he'll give his best attempt.
he'll give his best attempt. But obviously, we know someone like Kishane is extremely talented. So it is a question on like, okay, what actually happens when USA and Jamaica get the baton at the same time or really close to each other? I probably would have more confidence in Noah being able to pull things off, but it'd be very close. It'd be very, very close.
I think the four at the top though is going to be Canada, South Africa, USA, Jamaica.
And
As
you
far
can't
as like,
even count out Great Britain. I know Great Britain, on paper, they don't have the strongest of teams, but they did get bronze last year. Um,
yeah, but I just think that like that. Remember, USA messed themselves up and Jamaica messed themselves up. That's how that bronze got there. So they are fifth to me. Let's clarify.
it's
Nothing
true.
has
That's true.
changed. Everything you said is still true.
I'll,
They're
I'll
just third. They're
I'll
third when you take them out.
shout out that Great Britain did win the gold in 2017, going head to head with the United States, and that was a team with Christian Coleman, with Justin Gatlin. Like there were some guys on that team. But to be fair, that's like we're talking years ago at this point. But
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that
yeah,
was another one of those moments that was just like 2022. But that's and those and we got to close here. Like at the very least, 2017 and 2022 are what I'm thinking of is what I think 2025 could be. Looking
hmm
at like right now, we're doing everything wrong. We're doing everything that's gonna make the relay go bad. Which is we can't figure out who to put in round one, who to run in round two. Got
yeah,
track beef between legs three and four potentially. You see what I'm saying? Like you like I don't even know what the call room gonna look like. You see what I'm saying? If we're being honest,
it's true.
the talent is on one end, and then there's the reality of the situation. So it's like, okay, Team USA, let's see how this go, but hold your breath because I told you before when the Olympic 4x1 came out there and they showed me the lineup, I said this is going to end badly. I said it out of my mouth. I got witnesses. My boy Jeremy he was there. He was on we were on the phone at the same time watching it. And I'm like, this is about to be bad. And was I right? I didn't want to be,
Listen, it
but
did
I
not.
was like, you do
It
not want to
didn't.
run races with people who've never run races together. I'm just sorry. You just don't want to do it.
Exactly,
But that's
exactly.
what we be betting on. That's why I'm like, we need to let 36, 37 low get out of our minds. We're gonna be
Yeah,
running with the field. Because what if we get around, we're gonna have to be with the group. Because we're
yeah,
gonna have to like play it safe. And truth be told, that's why they ran so slow in 2021. They were so busy trying to not mess it up, they messed it up.
yeah.
They just ran slow.
It's
Like they ran
tricky.
like a high school team at that point.
Yeah, it was
And their
rough.
talent got them to 38-1 or 38-0 high.
Yeah, it was, but yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, so but hey, that's the relay.
Yeah,
That's the relay. And Team USA, we want to see y'all make it. We're pulling for you. And hopefully y'all can do something that I don't want to say it's never been done before, but it's hard. It's incredibly hard to do, which is essentially run two cold relays and get a gold.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, but we'll see.
So we'll
Coming
see.
off the USA Championships, the women's short sprints have some very interesting storylines, especially as we look forward to the World Championships. We got some teams set, But there's a few athletes who have some interesting situations that they're currently in. Sha'Carri Richardson, she's the defending world champion from 2023 in the 100 meters. She was the Olympic silver medalist from last year. She competed at USA's, but she only had to run one round of the 100, or she only ran one round of the 100. Already has a wild card there. She ran the 200, but she didn't qualify out of the heats. So, guess there's some question marks on how well she'll be able to perform going into the World Championships this year. On top of that, you also have Gabby Thomas, who is the defending Olympic champion in the 200 from last year, and she almost didn't make the team at USA's this year. Literally by thousandths of a second, she could have been left at home. But now they're both safely going to the World Championships this year. But the question is, how what do we expect from them when we get to Worlds? I guess it's two questions. What do we expect from them, and what will they actually produce when we do get to the World Championships? And then, of course, there's a ton of other names that they'll be going through. But I wonder, what are your initial thoughts, at least for them heading into Worlds?
I think they're both in the same boat. And the boat is, do they have enough time? Like, is there enough real estate on the calendar left for them to get to where they need to get to be the threats that they are?
Mm,
Because for Sha'Carri, I'll call it out for the people in the back. We don't know all the details, but if you piece together Christian Coleman's interview, if you piece that together with Flow Track's, Workout Wednesday that they did with, Sha'Carri and, Star Athletics, because they made her one of the centerpieces when you look at that
hmm.
thumbnail and how it's set up. But let's be clear, she was not fully healthy when they did that workout. I could promise you that. I mean, like she even mentioned, oh, I'm trying to be safe. I'm trying to be cautious. This is her conversion on recorded on camera. Anybody who's watching her, we knew that wasn't Sha'Carri who was running. As
Yep.
far as like her talent level was not, she just started looking a little bit more like herself at USA's, even though her fitness level was questionable based off of, you know, the struggles. So
Hmm.
just to even start there, because Gabby had a similar situation in a different form because she ran a season, then dealt with injury, and then showed up to USA's. Both of them wasn't themselves.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's what it was. Now you're allowed to say, "Well, they lost." You could say that. That would be true. And if this sport was set up where it was primarily about competing and winning and doing so regularly, and you had some form of a record where the wins and losses added up to something, that would all make sense. But because the way the sport is set up right now, technically there's only one meet on the calendar that matters, and you just got to make sure you're on the line when it happens. None of that actually does matter. They just need to show up on the line when it does matter. So do they have enough real estate? Sha'Carri, does she have enough real estate? I don't know. That's my
Mm.
answer. I don't know. Do you?
I well, I guess it's like enough real estate for what? I'm not sure if she has enough real estate to get the gold medal. That I'm not confident about right now, based on what we've seen from, of course, Julian Alfred, the Olympic champion, Melissa Jefferson Wooden, who just ran 10.65 and is looking like a whole different athlete. So I don't know if she has enough to get there. Things could change. Like let's not deny Shakari's talent. Like she's clearly one of the most talented athletes in history, literally in history. But based on where we're at now and everything you said, not sure if she's ready to get the gold. But then I wouldn't count her out for a podium spot. And in this case, I got to be honest, the podium spots are bronze right now. Like I'm looking at Julian, I'm looking at Julian and Melissa, and then everyone else is like behind them. So I
So
think for
eight, so you
Shakari,
mean the one podium spot?
well, yes, the one podium spot. And again, anything can happen, but I think Shakari could get to there. She's already run 11:07 is what she ran at in the heats of at USA's. She's progressively, slowly but surely gotten better and better, on the few races she's had. So I can't. There's no way I can count out the reigning world champion, the Olympic silver medalist. I think she's just had a slower start to her season. It's going to be hard, but I think she's still in the conversation for bronze. And also, to be clear, she can get back to gold medal contention, right? We've seen her win a gold medal, so there's no way I can take her out that convo. But based on right now, and with a month or so to go before Worlds, I think she can still challenge for a podium spot.
I'll say it in a different way. I think this is what I actually think is going to happen because I think she's getting
Mm.
better. Like that's what's
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
She's improving. We're seeing evidence, which we expected, but we just needed to know get some version of like where is this actually gonna track. So I would argue that the Sha'Carri we're gonna get at the Worlds is more or less gonna be the same one you saw at the Olympics.
Mm,
And that one was 10-8.
interesting.
Like
Okay.
under those conditions, that was 10-8. Under
Yeah.
those conditions, that was because she was right Melissa was right there.
Yeah.
If you're like, if
Like,
you look at the results, she was actually right there. So what you just said is that it does, I think, I mean, from what we saw, Marie Jose Talu Smith, I think she'll she's gonna she'll be in 10-8 form by the time, that gun goes
yeah.
off. But I think Sha'Carri in like with the amount of time she has to prepare, she should be still a step ahead of that as far as like literally like a step ahead to the line. It's just is that going to be enough? Well, no, not if these two women at the top are showing you this. She got to figure out how to get that out of the bag and find that in the next 5, 6 weeks or however long we got left.
Yeah.
And that's a different like
Well,
that's asking a lot
well
of
then,
anyone.
well then, because yeah, I
She still got
think
to beat out Sharika
it was exact. Okay, that was going to be my question because I think
and Tina Clayton.
Julian, exactly. Julian, Melissa, I think they're set. Now, Sha'Carri is battling with, like you said, Marie Jose Talu Smith, Shrika Jackson. She's already run 10-8 this year, even though, she's getting back into form. Tina Clayton, she's run 10-8. Even Shelly and Fraser Price has run 10-9 low. So I think they're all kind of like in the same realm. Even Dean Asher Smith, I think she's run, 10-9 as well. So they're all in that realm of fighting for that bronze medal that, you know, I don't know, is Sha'Carri going to be in good enough form to take down all of those women that we just named?
When you ask
Or,
that though, oh, I'm sorry, because I was
no, no,
thinking,
I mean, or is she just not? Like, is she going to be on the outside looking in?
yeah, well, that's where I was headed. Like, is there a world where she like not? Is there a world? Is it how possible is it that she doesn't make the final then? When you
Oh,
bring up
doesn't.
all those names,
Wow. I, wow, I get. It's crazy because I never even thought about her not making the
because
final.
because the ceiling, we both agreed now the ceiling starts to feel more like bronze.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
feels like they're the race for gold, which is going to put somebody at silver, and then they're the race for bronze, where those people, most of those people, we don't really believe, like, or all of them for that matter, we don't right now have real evidence they're running with the other two people. So there's two races in one race, and the question is, will she be in the second one? Will she be in Heat 2,
yeah.
Flight 2?
Man, yeah. I mean, I think she's still able to make the final because to your point, we've seen her make progress. Like she
Yeah.
started the year running 11-4 or whatever it is with her, she had like her calf wrapped up, whatever. And now she's down to 11:07. And she has been solely focused on the world championships. Like you said, like it or not, that's the way that the sport is in this current moment. An athlete can start the year and they have one date on the calendar, and that's the only date that matters. And that's what Sha'Carri, that's the situation she's in. So I expect her, I expect her to be in at least 10-9, if not 10-8 form, similar to what you said, which I think I'm very confident that's going to be good enough to make the final. But I feel like just based on what we've seen, she might be on the outside looking in when it comes to the medals.
Will she
I
be
could be
racing
wrong.
enough? Do you think she's going to be racing between now and then?
It's a question mark. I mean, I suspect she'll probably run at least one race. I would hope so because we're talking about five whatever weeks before Worlds. I think she'd have to run at least one race because I feel like you would need another benchmark. You can take a whole month off, but now you're getting into a realm where we're going to see. We already know Sharika Jackson is going to be racing. Julian Alfred is going to be racing. I know Melissa is going to be racing. Even Shelly and Fraser Price is going to be racing. So all her top competitors are going to be getting races in on the circuit. And I'm not confident that Sha'Carri, again, coming off of injury early in the year, already only has a few races that she can just take the month off and then show up at Worlds and run 10-8 or better to be able to get on that podium. That's just what I think, but I don't know.
I
I
agree.
don't know.
Hey, I asked the question because it needed to be asked. Because because you start giving that amount of names, it's
That's the
like
thing.
that's enough names where after a while it starts to feel like if you're not careful, you could get left out.
Yeah. Ugh.
Like that's
It
am I
could,
wrong? Like that's like Shelly Ann Fraser Price, she's good enough to knock you out.
absolutely.
You
Oh
see what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like these are all people who have the ability to, and you didn't even really, well, we don't know what Daryl Needham's going to look like at
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
time, but let's just assume that a lot of things will, smooth themselves out. Kind of like, on the men's side with Christian Coleman, like he got himself looking like himself by the time we got to the
The
USA's,
USA's. Yeah.
but he ain't look like himself never on the circuit any other time till then.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of that. Over to Gabby Thomas then, who we brought up already. I said they're in the same boat. I say that
Mm.
because it goes back to again, how much time does she have? I gotta say it this way. When I was watching her at the USA's, I saw her 200-meter prelim. Her 100 wasn't, I don't think was as telling, to be quite frank. But I don't think
Yeah.
anybody really had high expectations for what that was going to be. I think it was, maybe it was, pain that she was dealing with or discomfort. Maybe that's the word we want to use. But her face before her 200-meter prelim, the lack of confidence she was exuding, where I was like, something's wrong.
Mm.
That's what, because see, the 100, she wasn't supposed to make the final. So that was whatever.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't even trying. Like, she was just running. But the 200, she was like, this is the thing I'm supposed to do. And she knew before that gun went off, I'm not myself. And she didn't run like herself. Like she struggled to qualify, and then she struggled to qualify again. And so like her prelim and final both look similar. Where I remember she's coming out that turn and she's faded in the back, and this is in the prelim, and I'm like, what is Gabby on? But like I remember like
Yeah.
her face told me beforehand that she wasn't right. So when she's running and she's not looking right, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna assume that she's gonna make a move. And in the last 80, she made a move and she got herself into the final. And I thought, okay, she made a move, but I still don't feel great
Yeah. It's
because, yeah, but I want to see the best people run. And in the 200, yes, Melissa Jefferson wouldn't stepped up, but if we look at the rest of the field, after that, we were really like there was a big void, if you ask me, in terms
mm.
of like what we could have done at USA's. Because if Gabby's not going to set that pace, who else is?
Yeah, that's the thing. And we got to be honest, even if we just look at what happened last year, where at the Olympic Games, who did the USA send? Gabby, Brittany Brown, Mackenzie Long. It's a whole new team. Well, not a whole new team, but Gabby just barely made it onto the team. And Brittany Brown and Mackenzie Long, they all ran the exact same time at USA's, but it just so happens Brittany Brown and Mackenzie were on the other side, the wrong side of that. And so that looking forward, because even though Gabby's in a similar situation as Sha'Carri, I think it actually makes it a little bit easier because I feel like the United States is a little bit deeper in this event when talking about the world. Because Mackenzie Long has run 21 seconds this year. Brittany Brown, she ran 22.0 this year, but you have athletes like Jamesia Ford who's run 21. Like, all these women who have run like fast on paper, whereas now going to the world champs, Gabby, I think, has a slightly easier path because I can't rattle off too many names in the 200 that are like, okay, like they're going to beat Gabby. Okay, they're going to beat Gabby. And the good thing, just like comparison with Gabby and Sha'Carri, is like Sha'Carri not only dropped out the 100, but then didn't make it in the 200. Gabby found a way to make the team. She found a way to make the team in the 200 going through the rounds. So that proves that like I feel a little more confident that she's going to be ready when we get to the World Championships. Where, as an example, even though Melissa Jefferson wouldn't, she ran 21.8 to get the win, clear as day. I can still see a world where Gabby gets healthy enough to get back to whatever 21.8, 21.7, or whatever might be better to beat out to win the gold medal. That I see as more realistic for her in the 200 than like Sha'Carri in the 100 doing what she needs to do there. But
The thing is, and I would think this, I'm adding it back after what you said, because for those who don't remember, go back to 2022 USA's.
mm,
Gabby, the way she ran, it looked like that. It looked like 2022 when she didn't make the team. It looked like, and I'm saying like the way she ran. I was like, so I was like, if you watch like man, like the body posturing, the way she's hitting the ground. Now, I could be wrong, but I doubt it. It looked a lot like somebody who was in pain, struggling, trying to get through the race, trying to not mess it up worse, but still had to
Yeah.
be aggressive enough to get through it. And because people were acting like Gabby all of a sudden, got slow. And I'm like, y'all not been paying attention. She ran 21.9 earlier this year.
Yeah.
Yes, she did lose to Melissa, but like that was in the middle of a training block, more or less, where like that was not like she always lose around that time in the year. So at that point, we have to start throwing it out when it comes to championship.
Hmm.
But that USA performance, I said, when have I seen this before? I've seen it then. It was slow. Again, she was trying not to blow like to blow anything out to just get
Yeah.
to that line healthy, and she pulled it off. She pulled it off. So now she's got some real estate, so you got some time to work with to get from here to there. And it's like, well, when you say it that way, like, okay, 21.8, I'm like, is that enough? Because what form is Sharika Jackson in? I think Sharika Jackson about to come back as herself. Or not, maybe not 21.3 Sharika Jackson, but I think 21.6 Sharika Jackson about to pull up.
Mm.
I believe that.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then when you move off of that, Julian Alfred, that's not a doubt. She don't never not run well. Like
Yeah.
like you'd have to be making it up. Like you gotta go back to when that girl was like, you know, her second year on a college campus. She still had an essay to turn in. Like that's the last time I remember Julian, like she had final exams coming.
Yeah.
That's the only time I remember Julian Alfred not showing up in a championship. It was when she still had exams.
Yeah. Like,
And it wasn't
and
like her last year having exams. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when she was still getting better at final exams. That's
yeah.
the last time that she didn't even have her best GPA that year. She had a better GPA in the future. So like I'm pretty sure. So that's what we banking on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could see that. I think Julian has like set herself apart a little bit from the rest of the field because obviously she's been running so consistent, obviously in the 100, but in this case the 200, where I mean, she's run 21.7 already this year. And the thing about Julian, she had no trials to worry about. Like her sole focus, 100%, has been the World Championships since whenever August of last year, after she won the gold medal at the Olympic Games. She was like, okay, the next date on my calendar is September 2025. So she has been operating on that for this year. And in the midst of that, she's been running very consistent. So I think she is in the driver's seat. I'm not sure. I want to see Sharika's next couple races before I'm ready to say, all right, she's gonna get back to that 21.6 form. I'm never gonna put it past her. Like she is literally one of the greatest. You can argue she's the greatest 200-meter runner of all time, but like just based on times and all that. But not. I want to see what her next races look like. But I can see a world where Gabby Thomas gets back to 21.8, 21.7, maybe faster. And like it's not a surprise if she gets to Worlds and she wins any medal, gold, silver, or bronze to me. And it's like someone like Melissa Jefferson Wooden, who's been doing really well. I can imagine her off the podium. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but like that's why I put the times on the board though. I'm not like Julian Alfred has shown us what you have to run to beat her.
yeah, yeah,
Like remember last year and this year, she
yep,
ain't switch up. She been herself. If you go
yep.
back the year before, that world, you got to toss that out. Her getting, what was it, fourth? Fourth of that
Fourth in the
world in the
200.
200?
Yep.
Like that fourth place, you can't even count that because that was a Julian Alfred who had just run through the NCAAs and broke collegiate records. And you feel me? Like it was that Julian Alfred who came back and got fourth. That's what I say. Like she'd been so herself for so long that it's like just put it on the board. You're getting 21.8, 21.7 win factors, whatever, copacetic. Like that's what you're gonna get. And I'm just gonna assume, Jake, comment section, join me with this. Let us just assume that Sharika Jackson is gonna be some version of herself. Because remember, she ain't even gotta be herself. Sharika Jackson is at that point in her career where she can be like Vince Carter. Where Vince Carter used to be 30 something points a game, and now he could just be 25 points a game, but he's still better than you. That's Sharika Jackson. She don't even have to be that version anymore to still be a threat. She just got to be better than you.
Yeah.
She could win this gold and be not even her best self.
Yeah.
Because
It's
Julian might go 2165 because that's what she has. And Sharika Jackson might go 2161 because that's what she had on that day.
yeah.
And she might, when they interview her, be like, man, that wasn't my best work. It'd be like a
Exactly.
Sydney interview. That
Exactly.
wasn't my best work. Blew the
Literally that.
field out by a half second. That wasn't my best work.
Right? That's one of them. Yeah, that Sydney interview that's like, not too happy with it. That's what
Because you're
she
not
could do.
racing them. You racing you. Sharika not racing them. She racing her. So for Gabby to be in the conversation for any of these medals, you have to be at this point. These are the rabbits. Let's assume Melissa Jefferson wouldn't give you a version of what we thought USA's in the final. Let's
Hmm.
just pencil it in and say 2185.
Yeah.
Again, all things assumed. Health, weather, wind factors, whatever, as normalized as possible. 2185. Julian Alfred can go faster than that.
By far.
She
Yeah.
can. And Sharika Jackson can go faster than that. So in championships, Gabby Thomas, has she ever run faster than 21.6 in a world championship
Her best
or
is,
Olympic final?
I think her best is 21.83, I think from I think it might have been 2023. Yeah, 21.83, 2021 at Tokyo. She ran 21.87 and got bronze. So, and then even last year, I forget, she ran 21.8. But
Yes.
yeah, essentially she's
So she's gonna
21.8 at the championships.
so she'll be running down Melissa Jefferson Wooden for bronze. That's what she's gonna be doing,
Yeah,
essentially.
all things considered, if
Yeah,
like the trend
because she's not
holds.
coming into like it's hard for me to believe this is being real. It's hard for me to fully believe that she's going to run faster than she's ever run in a championship final with these types of setbacks at this point. You
Yeah,
get what I'm saying?
that's fair.
I
It's
think
fair.
she'll approach it. So she'll be running down Melissa Jefferson Wooden will likely catch her. That's what I would say. Like, cause she'll feel good enough to be able to run the turn the way she's supposed to and so on. But like at the same time, like it might be again for what Julian is coming with. For 'cause again, Julian might run in that same brain. She might. It's just that this year she looked so on it.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
Like she
looked
don't
different.
come out the lab, but to just like, give you one of those masterpiece races where she's gonna scrutinize it and then go back in and be
Yeah.
like, it's like, hey, I just think about what it's like to really be her right now, where it's like she's probably just training super hard, super dialed in, having to like keep that motivation. Then you come out the lab, it's like finally they unleashed me. They're gonna let me bang some heads finally. You go out and you win a race, it's like, oh man, I gotta go back in the lab, go back
Yeah.
in the hyperbaric chamber. You know what I mean? And
Well,
go get it back.
so one question then, because all of them are going to be racing, in this kind of time period before Worlds, and it looks like we're going to see Gabby versus Julian versus Sharika over 200 at the Lausanne Diamond League. I know there was some like back and forths, but it seems like that's going to be set. I wonder if that race will tell us anything. Like hypothetically, let's say Gabby wins that race. Now, maybe not in like the fastest time. I doubt they're going to be running 21.7. Well, they could, but I doubt they're going to be running like 21.6 or anything like that. But let's say Gabby wins that race in like 21.8, 29, 21.9, and like it's competitive against the rest of the athletes. Do we think that shifts the dynamic going into the world champs where it's like, okay, maybe Gabby could actually get back into the fold of like gold, silver, whatever.
I hear you, and that it would. I just, I mean, it would to some degree, but not as much because I feel like Julian Alfred and Sharika Jackson, we really won't know what they are
Mm.
until the Worlds for how their coaches are able to plan it and like how they're able to dial it in because they've known that they're going to this meet for much longer.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
known that they were going. They didn't have to like I mean the trials were either earlier or non-existent.
yeah.
So that's on one end. And also I just don't expect her to win that race.
That's fair.
I
That's
feel like
fair.
if she can lose to Sydney and LA, she can lose to them. You feel me? Like Like and just roll it off her back and keep running. Like I think that's just going to be one of those races where she's going to go out there, and again I'm using the history that we have to go off of because all these past races are a very relevant reflection of what an athlete is. In the past, she has run some races during the regular season where she was running. There are some times when she was, I'm gonna win this one, like that face off with Julian she had earlier last year before the games.
Yeah,
She
in
was like, I'm gonna
London.
win this one.
Yeah,
That was one of those days. And then she's had other days where she show up and like, I just gotta get through this because things ain't right, but I gotta get through this. So I think as for where she's at right now, she's probably gonna have some races where she's gonna get through them. She'll give you something decent, but maybe it ain't what it needs, what you'd want it to be. And she's just like, it's okay because as long as I have enough time to get to here and give my best, given the circumstances, I'm gonna just go. I'm not gonna just ignore it.
that's fair. That's
So,
fair.
especially with
Yeah,
like the Achilles related type thing,
yeah,
like y y time, you need a substantial amount of time to
yeah,
really heal that. So as a result, right now is you kind of have to manage it because the amount of time you'd have to take off, which may or may not, have significant impact on the healing, would also ruin your fitness. So you kind of have to, and again, I'm speculating, but
yeah,
like
yeah. Of
speaking to
course,
somebody who
of
had an
course.
Achilles surgery,
Yeah,
and but like also and it's coached athletes who've had, like calf, Achilles, like and things that they've had to recover from, it's kind of like, okay, either we're going to shut this thing down or we're going to figure out how to keep moving.
that's fair. That's fair. I essentially see it as like right now, Julian, and then the field. And Melissa is a little for me is a little wild card, but I'm looking at like Gabby and Sharika almost in the same playing field because they both were dealing with injuries. Sharika earlier in the season than Gabby, but they haven't run as well in the 200. Gabby, considering the injury, and it seems like it's not as serious as like like I don't know, like what Trayvon Bromell or like other athletes have had when it comes to these like really tragic injuries. It seems like she's in form enough to be like, all right, I'm able to qualify for USA's and I'm able to run in the 22 low range where now I can get rest, recovery, and actually race a few where I can like turn things up. Now, I don't, that's for me right now, that's not enough to say I'm going to beat out Julian Alfred. But Sharika Jackson at trials didn't run the 200 and she did enough to make the 100 team. Yes, it was 10-8. I don't know what that would have translated to in the 200 if she ran it, but I'm kind of looking at them at the same footing when I'm looking at it right now. But I don't know. It's tough to see, but Julian and in the field, Gabby and Sharika are like racing against Melissa and like everyone else, but I see those two as kind of like on the same footing in terms of where they're at leading into the world champs as of now. So we'll see them race on the circuit, but that may change things too. But I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I find that whatever race we get on the Diamond League, that's not going to be, the best representation of what it's going
Yeah,
to be for any of them. I
yeah, I
think
agree.
Julian a little bit more differently, where I think from what it feels like, she's had the most consistency through the season in terms of
By
like
far.
everything. And as a result, even then, like she's just kind of like letting you know how sharp the knives are. But at the same time, like she's still not going to carve it up and like give you the masterpiece she's going to try to give you later.
Yeah,
So she's probably going to be the more clear indication of like this is where we're at. All like if everybody was moving at the same pace, Sharika, it's different. I think she's going to try to put herself out there just to run something 21 anything
yeah,
and just be
yeah.
like, I need to let me just see that on the clock so that we know we're going in the right direction. I think Gabby's just like, let me just not, as long as my training is taking me where I need to get to, I just need to get through these races without being hurt. That's how I feel.
That's
From
fair.
the information that was given, it
Yeah,
feels like I just need the training to work.
yeah.
As long as the training is working, whether I win or not is not as big a deal.
That's fair. That's fair. Hey, so that time, but that's the we want to see how it actually plays
The
out.
USA Championship's now done. We know who the women of Team USA actually are in the short sprints. In the 100 and the 200, we have a lot of the same usual suspects. But remember, when it comes to the relay, there are additional people who come with them in the pool. Now, Sha'Carri Richardson didn't run all the rounds yet of the 100. She didn't make the 200-meter final, but she was close to it. But she's been overcoming injury and getting in form, so she'll be at the Worlds. We know that she's going to be running the 100, and that actually should not factor into her ability to run the prelim and the final for the 4x1. So, with that in mind, and all the other women who are coming with her, I mean, because to be real, the pool of people you have who are going to Tokyo, all of them are like inside who ran in the Olympic race we just saw, the one that got gold in 2024. They're all coming back. They're all going to be there. So
Hmm.
you could just run it back in theory.
Yeah, in theory.
At least in the final, you could just run it
Yeah.
back. So what are we expecting from the women of Team USA? Because we saw gold in 2024, gold in 2023, gold in 2022, right? So
Yep.
we're riding on the three-peat if you want to put World and Olympics on the same stage, which it's not. So if that is the case, then what is the expectation for 2025? Because even though we have a new relay coach, we got the same players.
We had the same players. So I like what you said specifically about Sha'Carri first, where even though she didn't run at USA's, she has a wild card in the 100. So she's focused on running the 100 at Worlds, and she could be on that relay. Now, I know there's questions about Sha'Carri Richardson. She hasn't been, the athlete we saw last year, or of course in 2023. She's not running that fast. We know she had some injury early this season. So there's question marks there. But for me personally, I feel that Sha'Carri there's nothing to tell me that she won't be showing up the best that she can be at the World Championships. Until I see otherwise, I'm going to assume that Sha'Carri is going to, get into good form. Whether that's, the 10-6 form that she's shown before, I don't know. But I'm still keeping at least Sha'Carri. I feel like she should be on this relay. Now, we have a ton of other athletes, like you said. I wonder, we could kind of game out what we saw at the Olympics. So Melissa Jefferson went in, she ran the first leg. TT Terry ran the second leg. Gabby Thomas ran the third leg, and Sha'Carri ran the anchor leg. And they ran that exact team from the heats and into the finals, and they won the gold medal. All of these women are going to be at the World Championships, but do we think they should keep that same team, or should we add some of the other players like a Kayla White and Aaliyah Hobbs, who made the 100-meter team now? You even have like a Navia Battle, who made the 200-meter team, and she's run 10-9 this year already as well. So I don't know if we should try and mix things up, or if we maybe should keep that same group that got the gold medal last year. Should we keep them together?
Well, I know you brought up in your video that Gabby Thomas
Hmm.
may end up running a 4x4.
Yes, that's
I
true.
mean, that might happen. But if you're asking me being selfish about the relay in the 4x1 for its own purposes, please just run it back with the same team. That's all. Let's just run it back. And the reason why is because that's what other nations do when they start beating us. They just
Yeah.
keep the same people. They don't keep playing hot potato like, oh, you hot right now. She might be hot right now, but this is a relay. It's different. So as a result, if you really gave us the same team, more or less 2 years, because see, 2023,
Hmm.
Tamari Davis was the leadoff, and Melissa
Yeah.
Jefferson wasn't there.
Yeah. She ran in the heats, Melissa did, but then Tamari was running in the
Okay.
final. Yeah.
Yeah. So they switched out,
Yeah.
and everything else was the same.
Yeah. Gabby, or you had TT, Gabby, Sha'Carri.
Yeah.
That exact same three
If it ain't
from
broke, don't
2023 to
fix it. What
24.
are we doing?
That's fair.
I mean, we can talk about Aaliyah Hobbs and Kayla White, and we could do that. We could. But for what? Because here's the thing: if Gabby doesn't run, I'll tell you my argument already. Kayla White, you got Gabby's job done
I'm not mad at that.
because she ran third at World Relays. So there you go.
Yeah.
The exact same thing. Swap and go practice down at Star Athletics, get it right.
Not mad at that. So the question then is, well, okay, so actually thinking about the relay, if they did that, let's say Gab, okay, I guess this is the question. Let's say Gabby and Melissa and everybody, they're keeping the same team. It would be tricky because they don't have, similar to the men, Gabby and Melissa are running the 200. So they may not be running the heats. The schedules are
Yeah,
slightly different than the Olympics last year. So that means they would have to switch out not only the first leg, but also the third leg, which could be a little bit tricky
that makes it
if,
more dangerous.
Yeah, which makes it more dangerous. And
That does.
yeah, so that's where not 100% sure if we would see. That's where I lean more towards Gabby probably not running because of
It's
that
just easier
issue.
to just keep it
It's
where
just
it was.
easier to like keep her off and have her focus on the 4x4 so that we can keep more cohesion on the team. Because let's like it or not, yes, and you say it all the time. The USA women, they've got 3 consecutive gold medals, but in both of the last 2 years, 2023 and 2004, especially 2004, those handoffs are not great. Like
Oh, yeah,
they were
2024, yeah.
like last year between TT and Gabby in both rounds, and then also between Gabby and Sha'Carri, like Sha'Carri had to run people down. Let's not
Yeah.
forget that. She
But
had to
Gabby and
run.
Sha'Carri don't be having good baton passes in any of the years, the
It's
2023 or
true.
20. But so that's why I'm no
It,
longer see the difference with the women and the men is that the women, like, at the end of the day, the food gets cooked, the meal is there, and everybody
it's true.
eats. Like
It's true.
it be looking shaky.
It's
You
true.
might hear the smoke detector, but at the end of the day, the smoke gets cleared. Everything
Yeah,
is cooked and we eat. With the men, the whole house burned down.
I know it. Every
Like
year.
that's the difference. And I mean, not every year. It's just because they be on the way to burning it up, and then like that's what 2023 was. It was on the way to burning up, but they got the food on the table. But the women, I just at this point, I just expect the meal to get cooked. So now, but the thing is, it's because the same chef been in the kitchen.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what I'm saying. When you start playing with that, y'all could act like the men real quick. Like don't fool yourself. But now now let's deal with the realm of reality for what you just said. Let's assume Gabby Thomas can't run in the prelim. Let's just assume that.
yeah,
And she didn't in 2023, and maybe that explains why it looked the way it did. And then let's assume that now
yeah.
Melissa can't do it either. So if that's the case, I mean, let's put ourselves in the driver's seat. What's the best course of action? Let's assume you're going to run the same team. How are we going to get you there?
So what I would likely do if I was the coach, I would do something similar to the USA has done it before where so Sha'Carri Richardson, she doesn't have to run the 200, but she's going to run anchor leg. You may also have Kayla White. Let's say she's going to run third leg. I would actually shift the relay slightly where you have in the heats, you have Kayla White passing to Sha'Carri, who then passes to 2 other athletes on the back end. Because you want to get some consistency there. And that may be it's tricky. It's tricky. I guess the problem is like first leg and third leg being taken out essentially messes up how the relay is going to run. And the reason I'm thinking about that is because in 2012 with the USA on the men's side, Trell Kimmins ran for in the final. Trell Kimmins ran the leadoff leg and he passed to Justin Gatlin. But in the heats, they had to do swap outs because of like Tyson Gay and Ryan Bailey. Like they weren't running in the heats. So what they did was they had Trell Kimmins run third leg and pass to Justin Gatlin on the anchor leg to keep the consistency of one guy running the curve and the final and still practice that handoff. So I'm trying to come up with something like that in my mind. But the problem is you're taking off like 2 middle or the first leg and then a middle leg in the heats. So it gets very tricky it's just tricky. I'm essentially leaning towards Gabby just not running the 4x1.
That's
And
fair. I mean,
yeah,
if you were to coach, I mean, look, if we're being honest, her talent is undeniable. But I actually think Kayla White could run that curve about the same, if not better.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Like for in a relay, for what a relay actually is, I don't think it would make much of a difference in terms of the result. It's just that when it comes to continuity, again, you have a group that like they know they can run together. Because I mean, I'm gonna choose my words carefully on this. Everybody can't pass a stick. Everybody can't receive one. Everybody can't pass a stick to a specific person. Like
Hmm.
things break down. So as a result, like for example, Tamari Davis, to me, she if she ain't running lead off, I almost don't want
Then
her running.
yeah, she's
Like
first leg.
I feel like
That's
that's what it is.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like Aaliyah Hobbs, I mean, if you're gonna use her as a sub, which makes sense, theoretically speaking. But see, okay, because like, hmm, is there a world in which, well, yeah, there is. There is a world in which TT Terry doesn't run in the final, right? Because she didn't make the team open.
There is, but I personally would. She to
You,
me,
you
she needs to be in the.
personally, but I'm saying argumentatively, they're the world. New coach, new situation. They're the world in which because she technically didn't earn her way.
I would venture
You
to
could
say
argue
that
that.
I'd venture to say that TT Terry might be the best relay runner for the United States in a long time. Like close to not on talent and all that, but like close to Allison Felix, like in
The
terms of
skill of relay
consistency,
running. The skill
skill
of
of relay
relay
running.
running.
Because we've seen her run so many different legs. You don't hold off Jamaica in 2022 when they have the world champion in the 100, the world champion in the 200, the Olympic champion in the 100. You don't do that unless you're extremely skilled. And yes,
Yeah,
obviously
and
your
that was running with
team.
a team where we did not have. We did not.
Exactly.
Did we have any medal? Who are our medalists that year?
In the 100 and the 200, none. We didn't win
My
a single
point.
medal.
We won no
So,
medals and still got a gold. Like
exactly.
yeah, we pulled a Canada. Like we
Literally
pulled a Canada. Like that's what the Canadian men were doing. We got no medals. Don't even be putting people in the final, but we gonna beat all y'all.
exactly. And then considering what happened in 2023 and 2024 where the handoffs weren't that great, TT Terry, even we just saw at the World Relays where Kayla White handing off to TT Terry. Now, you can argue like who may have been at fault, but just my thought process is TT Terry is so consistent and her ability to make sure that she gets the baton or passes the baton off effectively. I think she needs to be in the heats and the finals. That's just my opinion, but I don't know.
Hey, I get it. I'm just saying there's an argument to you because here what I'm
It's
now trying
true.
to play with is how can I get the most continuity from round one to round two.
It's true. It's
That's the
true.
argument I'm trying to play with now. And if that's what we're doing, then the most continuity, I mean, these are the names I guess you'd have to run. Let's just use the 100-meter ladies.
So you're just taking the top three from the 100 and then
No,
Sha'Carri?
take all the 100-meter
Oh,
ladies that we got plus plus TT Terry. That's your group.
wait,
Run with
wait,
those four.
wait. Okay. So, because that's,
TT Terry, Melissa
uh,
Jefferson Wooden. Oh, wait a minute.
that's what
No,
I'm saying. Because
I take that back. I
Sha'Carri,
still got to drop somebody.
you have to drop somebody. Sha'Carri has a wild card. She just didn't run
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that
yeah,
final.
yeah. So, okay, Sha'Carri is one. That's your anchor.
Melissa,
And you
Melissa is
can't
on
not run
there.
Melissa. You can't
Yeah,
not.
she's
But she's not. But
exactly.
in theory, she won't be running in the prelim.
She
So let's
can't.
address
Yeah.
her later. Can we fill in a second and third leg we're comfortable with? Can we run Aaliyah Hobbs and Kayla White? In theory, we
Yeah.
could.
Yeah, definitely.
In theory, we could. So if that's the case, now who's running the first? I mean, are
Well,
you going to run? I mean, TT Terry, Tamari Davis. TT Terry technically beat her. So, I mean,
yeah. I mean,
like,
but if that's the if in theory, if you want to go,
because we're giving TT Terry a legacy spot, and America don't believe in that. It's just that, like, am I wrong? America
y-
don't normally play that, but but she like, but we're. If I was the coach, yes, I would give it to her. But I know America has not moved like that. You got to run for those spots.
yeah. Yeah, oh, it's tricky. I guess, well, even I guess in 2023, we did see that Brittany Brown was on the 100-meter team, but she didn't run the relay. TT Terry finished fourth at USA's, but she was put on the final relay. So
Okay.
there's a world where, these things can happen. So if we use your team of like, or at least the example of Sha'Carri on anchor, Kayla on third, and then Aaliyah on first on second, then Tamari Davis should probably run first leg. That would be like the heats, and then you throw in Melissa Jefferson Wooden, to replace
Yeah.
like Tamari Davis in theory. But
Yeah. What I really want is just keep the team from last year and sub out Gabby for Kayla White as needed and keep it moving.
yeah, I'm just not
That's what I want.
confident. I'm not confident that's gonna happen. I feel
Give us the same
I
team.
was
TT Terry second. Give me that team. Put a Sha'Carri on anchor. Give me that team. Let Jefferson Wooden on leadoff. Give me that team. And if we got to put Kayla White in as the third, there you go.
ooh, and
At
then
least three,
no,
because now three of those legs are going to run through the prelims with no concerns.
yeah,
They
yeah.
can train down at Star Athletics, no issue. That whole relay can train down at Star Athletics.
Well, yeah, actually,
The
literally,
whole
that
relay.
entire relay, they can start training tomorrow. Like literally, like
They might
if they
already
really
did.
wanted it to. But
So
I mean, listen, we don't know what's going on in the background in terms of like new coaches and all that. But like, I, it'd be tricky to say that like Aaliyah Hobbs would not find a way onto that team. But I don't know. But granted, I have no idea. No
Well,
idea.
this is the mess that is like the prelim to final. Because again, at the end of the day, if we were a smaller nation, we would just tell you, you got to run the prelim today. Get over it.
Yeah, you have no choice.
It's only so when we say you can't do it, the truth is it's America being soft.
Literally, we
Because in
see,
college and in high school,
and
you run a bunch of races and you deal with it.
you don't ask questions.
And these are
It's
supposed
just
to be the
yeah.
pros, the ones with the contracts.
I
And
know.
I get it, but I don't get it. Like I get it, I get it. There's a world out there, but when you're talking to people who ran at other levels, they're like, well, why can't y'all? So
Yep.
like, because it's not like they're on the track at the same time. It's
No.
just, scheduling wise, it's like, well, I don't want to shift my focus from here to here.
Yeah, but
So,
I mean, we see it at like obviously a different event, but we see Femke Bol go out there for Netherlands running the mixed 4x4, the 400 hurdles, the 4x4, and no questions asked. Like she's not out here complaining. Sure, she might have not gotten, the medal she wanted at the Olympics last year, but she's gonna do what she needs to do for her country.
but that's because
And
that's why. Because she's
yeah,
not in Team USA, they're not doing it for their country. Like, am I right? Americans don't care about track. Track and field fans in
yeah, I
America
see.
do,
Yeah.
but like it doesn't. It's not a sense of national pride. So they're doing it for themselves. They're doing it for USA Track and Field, maybe, but not USA. See, the Netherlands, they be doing it for the Netherlands, do it for the culture. It's different. So as a result, like even Canada, like again, they got guys who ain't nowhere near fast enough to run for America's team. Like most of their, how many years did they have a guy on their relay not named Andre de Grasse who would have ever been running in an Olympic Games in the
No,
100 or 200?
they will not name Andre or Aaron Brown. Like those are
Yeah.
the only
And
two
Aaron
guys who
Brown
have.
had his years where he was in his bag. You mean like, but I'm saying like in general,
Yeah.
when it comes to like representing Team USA, like, but even then, like there are years when Aaron Brown, like even this year, Aaron Brown would not be representing Team USA.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Even
it's
this
true.
year, like the Canadian national champion in the 200, Jerome Blake, as great as he ran, 1995 is fast. And then you see what
But
they did at the USA trials.
I was gonna say we just saw Ronnie Baker run 992 and finish way down the pack.
Yeah. So
So
like on 100, 200. So, I mean, hey, with all this saying said, I mean, the last thing we got to say is for the women then, because we know what happened at World Relays.
yeah,
I mean, who got the victory
I mean
when the dust settled?
it was Great Britain, right? I think yeah, Great Britain
It was
or
wasn't it Great Britain, Spain, Jamaica, USA?
yeah, Great Britain, Spain, Jamaica, USA. So
So all this USA talk, and at the end of the day, that thing could still go left.
it
Because
can, it can. I mean, it hinges on
now,
it
granted,
really
we didn't
does.
run the women we just said.
Yeah, exactly.
Melissa Jefferson
We
wasn't
didn't
wasn't there. Sha'Carri wasn't there. Gabby Thomas wasn't there. TG
none of
Terry
them.
was there.
TG Terry was there, Kayla White was there, but like they weren't, and especially someone like Kayla White, she wasn't the Kayla White that we just saw at USA's. So, you know, there's some differences. But I mean, we got to be fair. There are worlds. There's many scenarios where Jamaica definitely can win. There's scenarios where Great Britain can also win. Again, it's not too long ago, just last year, Sha'Carri Richardson had to run down Great Britain to get the gold medal at the Olympic Games. So it's not far fetched, but
If that
I,
Great Britain comes this year, if they run the exact same type of race, where do you think America is with what we're realistically going to give? Do you
no,
think we're better? Do you think we're better or worse than we were last year?
I think we're much better, especially with
USA women us.
USA women. I think we're much better, especially considering because Melissa Jefferson Wooden got a bronze medal last year. She was extremely talented, but she is operating on a different level this year. Like
Do you think
worlds different.
do you think individually we're better or as a team we're better?
I think as a team it's the same because we've seen what USA women specifically are able to do as a team year after year, even with different names. Like people forget, Abby Steiner was on a 4x1 in 2022. Like, and she ran a
But
4 by
Jennifer
one
Andini,
Jenna Prandini was there, and neither of them ran a 4x1 since then. But I think the women have a level of of consistency, just like a mindset where it's like we're coming together as a team. So add that to Melissa Jefferson Wooden, who's just physically faster. Kayla White, physically faster, right? Even though like Sha'Carri, yes, she's not as fast, but she wasn't
for the
as
moment.
fast in yeah, for the moment. It's like so I think just coming into 2025, the women are on better footing. That's my opinion. But it's like you said, world relays, we saw what happened. So anything technically can happen.
Well, anything might happen, but I'll tell you one thing. It's gold medal or bust. And all these other nations, because when you said Great Britain and Spain, I wasn't scared. No disrespect. I said what I said. I wasn't scared. When I heard Jamaica, I was like, I'll believe it when I see it. You know what
Mm,
I mean? And because I mean, they got to actually go out there and put the pieces together because they've been
hmm.
figuring out their order and figuring out like what is it. And they
Yeah,
did run world relays hard. That's why you got to understand them losing world relays was a big deal because
that was
they
yeah,
had the most firepower of anybody who stepped to the line and got third.
yeah. They had all they had Shelly Ann, Sharika, and Tina Clayton, all three who are going to the world champs individually. So they had their fire squad there.
Yeah, they were ready. They were
Yeah,
ready. I mean, Tia Clayton was there too. She was like
exactly.
she was over there running in the races and I'm saying like their whole they brought the house.
Yep.
Like so I mean granted and maybe they needed that dry run and maybe that's why they will be better. It's just that there are no safe bets. One thing is for certain though, Team USA women, it's still, and I'll say it one more time, gold medal or bust. Because when you go
Yeah.
3 years in a row, you can't come back to us with anything else and call it success. I get it, y'all are human, but they've just been out talenting the world for so long. I'm just going to have to believe it's going to continue.
Yeah. And the only thing I'll say is that if Team USA doesn't win a gold medal, because of the success that they've had, unfortunately, and I think you know I think the coach is a great person, very very successful, but because of the trend that they had, because they brought in a new coach, I think that will be where people might focus their energy as opposed to athletes, which may or may not be fair, but that's what I suspect.
The
But
only way that would not be true is if they somehow ran faster and lost.
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good
But
point.
I don't see that happening. I don't think, again, we've been underachieving on speed and didn't matter.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why it's like, but they've been always getting around.
yeah.
So like it didn't. So yeah, but hey, that's the relay.
We'll see.
So.
My name is Anderson from the Final Leg.
And I'm Coach Rob from SCA Track and Field. And thank you for watching this segment from the finish line.
If you want to know what's really going on at the high school and college level, be sure to subscribe to Coach Rob Track and Field.
And if you want more content on the best track and field athletes in the world, be sure to subscribe to The Final Leg.